Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this, the 36th episode of Blood on the Thames, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in London, England. With me tonight,
a much more rested Carlos playing Moses of Clan Nosferatu.
Peter playing Benjamin of Clan Malkavian.
Philip playing Sarah Matthews of Clan Gangrel.
What? Sarah, what?
Because a lot of weird stuff happened last episode, including the casual massacre of Tweety Pies.
Oh.
Yeah, you pull that face.
It's a game of personal avian storytelling horror.
Yeah, catch it. It's the new release from. So, the recap from last episode, if you please.
So Sarah meets the prince. It all goes surprisingly well. He seems to be distracted by other things. He hands his fate over to Lisa, who never seeming to realise who Sarah really is.
Moses lets out his beast to punish some very evil people. They deserved it. Nancy is just brutal. Benjamin hides and then snacks on the fringes, bites here and there.
Sarah is informed that she is going to be introduced to Jim's coterie. Perhaps Lisa is nastier than we thought.
So Benjamin goes home to find Amelia alive and well. They have a lovely evening in his imagination.
Oh my god. But Moses goes home to find Alice there. She seeks comfort in his arms and the two feed on each other. The first step in a mutual blood bond.
And Sarah discovers that Jim is definitely dead.
So Benjamin meets Anatoly and Lucita. He has no idea how scary they are. While healing, he gets very hungry. He goes hunting and he eats a lot of birds, like a lot. He's approached by the alderman who wants to meet the prophet, and the alderman is not prepared to take no for an answer. Luckily for Benjamin, Lucita has no time for any of the alderman's shit, and she steals with him, and then they return to Anatoly to find out what he has planned. And that's where the session ends.
That is where we left off. So before we leap into it, first of all, I want to offer a big happy birthday to the mighty Paintbrush. And also congratulations on getting the job.
Yeah.
Congrats. You got it, girl.
You do realise we're taking partial credit for that with our wondrous now missing note, but it was there last week. So, congrats. Anyway, we will go straight back into things. Let's see, who should we start with? Well, first things first, I need some remorse checks. Because we didn't do it at the end of last session.
Ay, caramba.
For those that might have forgotten, although I'll be surprised if any of the chat have, these guys got some stains last session, and we didn't roll for it. Also, willpower recovers. Okay. You will recover a point of aggravated willpower if you have any.
I'm
cool.
Full. Track is healthy now. I need that. Thank you.
I shall just get over with, like ripping off a band-aid. Should we do it at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
1, 2, 3. Got a 7! Got a 7! No!
Following on my kind of rousing tradition. Okay.
Thanks to Kasira64 for the gift of these dice that I use exclusively for remorse checks, and they have not let me down.
Yet.
So.
Period. They have not let me down.
I'll let you guys justify that how you justify that.
Yes.
I'm going to be crying.
So.
No tears from me. I mean, those people, they were bad people when you think about it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the same train of thought. Probably talking with Alice, like a heart-to-heart in which I talk and she listens because I want her to talk, but she won't. And I will pretty much carry the conversation in the same way I carried it with Nancy. It's like, hey, I should feel bad about this, but I'm not. And then probably what makes me feel really bad about it, or I realize that the reason I have not been feeling actually bad is because I had, like, everything happened while I was under the thrall of the beast. So I just try to mentally walk through what happened, trying to remember, trying to describe what was left, realize the extent of my actions under the thrall of the beast, and say, okay, if the guilty are going to be punished, they have to be punished. This was more like an execution. It was not it was not the way it should have been done. Like, I need to still stop them, but there are other ways. We could have gotten a lot more information. They could have gotten like life sentences with the police, or help Alan Burr and his allies to get a new unit for human trafficking or child trafficking. And we just lost the opportunity of doing so much more. And then, of course, it's the fact that I let the beast run loose.
So, first of all, since you've started, we'll start with you. Your evening with Alice is both strange and comforting for a multitude of reasons. Not only because of the blood bond, not only because of the sudden onrush of feelings which were already there and have been there since pre-embrace.
Yeah.
But now they've become even more solidified. They've gone past the level where they're at the back of your mind and they're brought to the fore every time you see her. At this point, they're there. Even when you're thinking through and justifying to yourself, and then finding you can't justify it to yourself, the actions that occurred the previous night. Even when that's happening, you're still distracted by Alice.
She's at the forefront. Something I had buried before my embrace. And
in a way, that's a good thing, because it helps, even though you can't stop the remorse beginning to show. You can't stop the way your body involuntarily begins to shake as you relate the details to her. And she lets you. She doesn't interrupt, she listens. And although she doesn't say anything, whether or not she can is unclear. She hasn't said anything at all since she's arrived. But she listens. And just having her there is enough of a comfort to try and rein in the absolute onrush of sudden realization. As you're thinking back through everything that occurred, it's very, very easy to try and justify what happened as justice. But then when you look at the details of exactly what transpired, you can't justify that. You can't justify what happened. And you can't justify how good the beast made you feel when you did it. And that's the horrifying part. And you're not sure whether or not it makes you feel better or worse with the look she gives you when you describe it, because you can't tell whether or not she's looking at you as though she understands, or she looks at you as though she doesn't believe you could possibly portray that kind of savagery.
It was a massacre. It was unwarranted completely.
But the fact that you don't know whether or not she believes you or not is making it worse. But then eventually the talk dies down. And you enjoy your time together in each other's company before the sun finally rose. And you both knew nothing. But when you rewoke, when your senses began to switch back on one after the other, and you were in your familiar surroundings, initially there was a pang of anger and aggression that shoots through you at the presence of someone immediately in your vicinity. And immediately that vanishes, quenched by this overwhelming joy at the fact that Alice is there beside you. I mean, yeah, you would have been happy anyway if she'd been there, but at this point, it's truly elevating. And she is stirring before you do. And as she slips away from the bed and begins gathering her clothes back up, she gets dressed. She doesn't say anything, but she looks over at you and she does give a very, very warm smile as she redresses. She looks over towards the bites that she still has, and then very, very slowly watches as they seal. And then she chucks clothes at you and then marches out the room.
Same, I get dressed and start struggling to go through a mental note of things that I need to do tonight. Like a list, maybe talking to her, seeing if she says anything about what is she going to be doing tonight. Does she have any plans?
Okay. So after you dress and you step out and you begin to say this to her, roll me Roll me wits plus insight.
Okay. One, two, three, four. I don't see this die. Five successes. Normal. No crits.
This is the first time since the previous night you've seen her slip in her composure. And the moment that you speak and ask her this, there's a very brief moment where she slows and becomes still, almost as though she's trying to weigh a response. And then when she just turns at you and she offers a smile, she opens her mouth as though she's about to say anything and then just closes it again. But that briefest of pauses makes it clear that she's not just like, I can't fucking speak.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a case of, fuck. And then she comes up with a response. And it's a small enough gap. It wasn't a critical win, was it?
Wasn't.
No, okay. Yeah. So, that's the response she gives.
So you have something to do tonight. I'm just gonna give her yes or no questions from now on. Do you need leaving now or later? Later. Okay, I have a couple of things to do. I need to first quickly sort out this mess because here boy, and I start looking for my puppy.
The puppy hasn't left where you sent him before. He sat there just staring at you, tail wagging, head low, and the moment he sees Alice, the tail starts going even further. And as she stares at him, he's like,
Okay.
Can I leave? Can I leave? Can I leave? Can I leave? I can leave! And runs out towards you. She goes to pet him. There's a caution there. Even though he gets excited when he sees her, he's always... He seems to have clued itself in that this is dangerous territory, being around either of you. But given that he's your familius...
Family is in the way. I just grab him by the scruffy, like, okay, this is a buddy who's doing a lot of messes. So I need to just clean up. Also, I have.
Have we cut? Oh, yep. 2 seconds, guys. We'll just sort out any audio and issues.
Is it me being echoing again? Echo.
Hello again. So apologies about that, guys. It's been a while since we had some techie issues. I assume everything's okay now. Just give us a shout in the box if it comes back, and we'll.
I'll do that if it.
Okay. Yeah. Dylan will do the official Dilly Jazz hat.
I mean, this is about as like emphatic as Dylan ever gets, so
Yeah.
it's quite
Yeah.
eye-catching.
The disaster ghoul.
Yeah.
Tech ghoul. Tech ghoul symbol.
Dilly,
So-
the cool jazz hat.
The tech ghoul jazz hand dilly thing.
So you've picked up the puppy.
And
Which-
I'm telling Alex, I need to sort out the apartment. Susan and Lucy are staying here in the meantime. She has a tough legal situation, and I'm trying to get Alan Bird to help her. Problem is, Alicia was in Alan Bird's house because a friend of Jim was there and tried to kill him. He was at the hospital, so I need to check on him, even if it's by phone. I need to clean the place to tell Susan and Lucy to come back and stay here. And I need to check in with the constable. I need to check in with Benjamin because he's been freaking out. And I need, well, yes, I mean he will always be freaking out, but this is different. I think I didn't have a chance to actually tell you what happened at church with the lupines. And I tell it in detail and how I heroically killed one of the lupines. And I say that, and I say it like sincerely. It's like, and I killed one of the lupines while it was distracted guarding another hound. Shot him in the head with my special fiery bullets.
She looks... as close to disbelief as you have ever seen, Alice. It's almost like a frog has told someone that they've, 20 different wives of... I don't know where I'm going with this example, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's like
it's something in...
It's okay. Well, it did happen. The problem is, Benjamin then started painting at church with the blood and gore of the lupines. And he started painting pictures of things in flames. And then we had a conversation, and he has been having visions. And every time he has visions, it's scary because he remember the one with me being torn apart, and stuff. Okay. In this one, everybody is on fire except me, which made me I'm worried about the guy. So I'm gonna have to check with him. And oh, and I hold her hands, and I get that serious. It's like I've been helping Plucky Jake, except for the last couple of nights when we were dealing with the gym situation. We caught him, Alice. Alexander. The guy with the missing eye who tortured us. We caught him.
She lets go of your hands.
I've been aiding Plucky Jake in trying to extract information from him. And I have to say my primogen is quite skilled at the whole thing. It makes me uncomfortable to be there because it reminds me of... Never mind. He's not roaming free. We got him. So that makes me feel safer. I don't know if it makes you feel safer. It makes me feel safer knowing that he's not around, he's not about, and he's getting his due. There's no way I can speak up and say stop it, even if I wanted to, which I kind of don't. I'm torn on that one as well. It's been a few rough weeks. But if you come with me, because it's literally checking in. Some of this are going to be phone calls. If you want me, I can go with you wherever and sort things out.
Bzzzt.
Which one? Mine's or hers?
Yours.
Okay, which one?
Your generic phone.
Oh, then okay.
Unknown number.
Show it to Alice so she knows it's an unknown number. Hello?
Sorry to interrupt. Is this Moses I'm speaking to?
Who is this?
Lisa Ketting.
Oh, Miss Ketting. Evening. Yes, it is me. May I ask, how did you find my number?
We have a mutual friend.
Who?
A distant uncle.
A distant uncle
of yours.
Okay. Understood. Yeah. Yes. How can I help you, Miss Ketting?
Lisa Ketting, the primogen of the Toreador.
Yes?
I have a request to make of you. I assure you I'll be most grateful if you could hear me out.
Yes, absolutely. Over the phone or in person?
In person, if possible. I'm not too far away from your previous address.
Which one?
The one that's being refurbished.
Oh, understood. I had no plans on going over there tonight, but I manage I can make time for a primogen of the Toreador, of course.
You can almost hear the wince on the phone. I'd appreciate that.
I will let the constable know that I will be slightly delayed from my duties because you need to talk to me. That's not a problem. Yes. When?
As soon as you can get here. We're in the area anyway.
You got your car. Bye.
What? Maybe I'll tell her about an hour.
I'll be there. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye. Hang up. Toreador Primogen wants to she wants to ask something of me, and she would be very appreciative. I don't know. The previous Primogen of the Toreador was like a nightmare to be had, and now if this sounds like the way I think it sounds like a boon. Well, let's get this sorted, then we can just go there. I can just call Benjamin. Yeah, sure, why not? She's gonna ask a favor of me. It's okay. I mean, you don't. Well, if you don't want to be in the conversation, just wait for me. I doubt it's gonna be something long. Yes. Drop me off, pick me up later. 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Okay. And that's how we do it. I just clean the house as best as I can.
Yep.
Put food for Pupper until we find a name for him, because
He
Lucy
looks
has to
very
think of it.
appreciative.
So, yes. Also, Lucy has to come up with a name, because if I name him, she's not gonna like it. So
I can do that.
yeah, I mean, she did it with Foggy, and had to live with it. So yeah, and then just literally get ready, and before I leave, dial to Benjamin.
Okay.
So this is gonna be like an hour or so after I woke up.
Okay. So, you have left the vicinity of the recent birdicide. Feeling slightly less peckish than you were. Slightly more comfortable now that you see that you're in the company of somebody who, at least for their own reasons, has your immediate safety in mind.
Yeah.
You don't see any trace as you step out of the house of the alderman. You do look. Lucita doesn't.
Okay.
At least not outwardly. But as you're stepping around going towards your car, you keep your eyes out. You manage to reach the car and climb into it as Lucita sits in the back. And you begin your journey back, I'm assuming towards...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't take you too long to make your way back towards yours. You know the roads very well, and at this time, it's early enough where most people have already left for work. They're where they need to be, and if they are going to go out, you know, given that it's a Wednesday day, it's, you know, hump day. Not many people are going to go out at this point this late. They're preparing themselves for another couple of days of work, so it is relatively quiet. So, and as you make your way back, finally you reach yours. And rather than have to go up towards your flat, you find Anatoly sat with a jacket, quite a ripped jacket, with his hands in his pockets, just waiting on the stairs.
Hello. Were you keen to get started?
Well, time's we don't have a lot of it. I'd rather get this underway so we can have a proper chat.
Oh, right. Of course. Did you want me to drive you somewhere?
Yeah, I know the place, and
All right.
if we go there straight away, then we've got plenty of time to discuss what happens after.
Yes, that sounds like a nice way to do things. So get in the car.
You climb into the car. Lucita doesn't get out of the car.
Okay.
She waits there. But every time he approaches the car, he stops as another car goes by, and he stops and takes he observes it going around the corner. He mutters to himself, and then just goes back towards approaching the car. So you're waiting a good 5 minutes for him to approach, because every time he goes past, he observes the car. Doesn't say anything otherwise. At least nothing that you can hear. And then finally he climbs into the car. Here's the address. And he hands across to you a slip of paper which has a caravan park outside of London.
Okay. So I guess I will get my map out and I'll have a look at how I think I'm going to get there. And then...
Once you get outside of London, it's a straight drive. It's not too far away.
I will start to drive. I'll say to him, it's probably good that you're cautious. Did you know that someone's looking for you?
You might need to be a little bit more specific.
Oh, are there lots of people?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, I understand what that's like. There's this a man, and he called himself the older man, and he was. I didn't get a very good vibe about him. In fact, he was. I'm used to dealing with very, very.
Dark hair, glasses.
He had sort of stringy hair. I think he was wearing a cap.
Looks around at Lucita, who's just not paying attention.
He seemed to have a very short number of steps between conversation and violence. I'm very used to people like that.
No, that's not who I'm thinking of.
Oh, right. He gave me to the count of 3 to take... He wouldn't really explain himself. He said I had to take him to you, and it was clear he was going to do something horrible if I didn't. And just as he was about to do something horrible, Lucita very kindly stepped in and... Well, she put him in his place. Let's say that. Let's say that.
He starts paying attention to you and watches as another car goes past. Is that the 3rd or 4th red car that's gone by?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't counting red cars. Should I be counting red cars?
I think it was the 5th. Anyway, come on.
I'll carry on driving.
You continue on your route towards this one place. He doesn't actually answer your question, and he doesn't continue the discussion unless it's brought up. Lucita remains quiet.
Okay. In a kind of threatening manner, or just in a quiet manner?
Wait, what, Lucita?
Hmm.
One and the same, really, where she's concerned. Okay. I mean, she's the kind of individual where every now and again you feel the overwhelming compulsion to glance over to the mirror. And as you look over into the wind mirror, you realise that you think for a moment she's not in the back. And then as you kind of glance around, you realise that it's almost like there's a smudge across the mirror from where she sat. It's extremely hard to place her.
Oh.
And then you double check and then check again. And she's definitely there. And then you kind of tilt your mirror as you're driving and then realise that it's not anything to do with the mirror, it's her. Because when you do tilt the mirror, the smudge seems to shift from wherever she sat.
This is uncomfortably close to something he's had gone before.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally your mirror because your mirror had a delay last time.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to leave the mirror alone. Leave the mirror alone. Try not to think about it. Just drive to my destination, I think.
Okay. Meanwhile,
you're not gonna pick up.
You have left Lisa's place. The weight of the conversation that you had previously still weighing on you to a degree, but at least it's been said. And in a weird way, the lull of torpor and the dreamlessness that comes with it was satisfying. In that when you woke up, your immediate concerns were more base than thinking on your brother. And then finally, once you are awakened, settled, and once Caspian's finished giving you a very thorough sniff, Lisa leads you out. Climb into the vehicle and you begin driving. She doesn't say where, and it's only when you come within the vicinity of the remains of the crossed hands does she pull out the phone and begin making a conversation. And only through the mentioning of the name do you realise that she is speaking to Moses. And then after a while she hangs up. So how much time have you spent with this individual in the past?
I saw him when just after I had been this. I think I offhand met him before for a couple of nights, but I was so tired. I could barely think. What do you know about him? 'Cause I don't.
Well, I know that he was involved with your kin. I know also that he serves as in the capacity of a hound, which I suppose, think of it like a police officer for us.
Okay.
Or if you want a more accurate depiction, a police officer who mainly leads with the trudgeon.
Oh.
And he serves at the behest of the constable, who is the lawkeeper, the prince's right hand. I also know that he belongs to the clan Nosferatu. How much do you know of clans? Have you been told anything?
Only what you've mentioned.
You will get a very one-sided view of the Nosferatu as you enter into kindred society. Based upon their physical affliction, which...
So the reason that he's ugly is because of the clan?
Be very careful where you use that descriptor. Not all of them deal with their affliction as well as others. Regardless, their affliction hides, or rather enhances, their natural acumen for being able to accrue secrets, and they know how to trade in secrets. They know their value. Because they are habitually ignored, and because everybody eschews their company, they make, paradoxically perhaps, some of the best spies within our community. And their prowess in the blood is what gives them the ability to be where they need to be, to see what they want to see. There could be one sat in this very car. I assure you there's not. I checked. But they install that mindset in you. And if you do develop that mindset and that paranoia early on, then you'll survive a little longer. But never underestimate them. And never call them ugly to their face. Be very, very wary of the Nosferatu. Be wary of what you say. Because what you say may sound innocent to you, but to them, it will be catalogued, cross-referenced, and remembered and shared. But also remember, you might ignore them. They will not ignore you. And I'll be surprised if they don't already know of your existence and the fact that you are not yet gone. They would have come to their own conclusions on that, no doubt. So
what do you advise?
That you'll make yourself invaluable to them. Learn what you can from them, but remember, anything of importance you ask me. I am responsible for your education. I do not want you making risky assumptions based on what they tell you or what they show you. You have my number. There's no reason not to call me.
I am... You said to make sure to keep on top of the hunger. I'm a little hungrier than yesterday. Is that something I should...
It depends. I can't speak as to your mental prowess. Do you feel like you could lose control? Do you feel like you're a risk?
I don't think so, but
I'm willing to assume not. Since we've been speaking, people have been passing by my window, and not once have you looked at them. You've kept your eyes on me. I normally take that as a good enough sign that you're more in control of your faculties than where your next meal comes from. And I only have so much time tonight. We are waiting for Moses to arrive. I will make this official, and you will go into their company. You have my number, and we will meet at a regular interval to begin your lessons. Meanwhile, you...
Doesn't pick up, right?
Huh?
He doesn't pick up the phone.
Do you pick up the phone?
Am I driving my car?
No, he doesn't pick up the
Certainly
phone.
not.
That's the thing. He's not gonna
Safety
pick up.
first!
That is how accidents happen.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
drive
not
safe,
gonna
kids.
pick up.
Yeah, so no, I won't pick up the phone.
So I change the person and I call Susan. I tell her the house is clear. You can come and bring Lucy. Bring whatever stuff you got from your house. Just bring it over. Not a problem. I will leave some extra cash in the counter for you in case you need it.
Thank you. Is there a set time that we need to be there by, or?
No, I'm actually leaving. I might come back very, very late. But if I come back earlier, I will need to talk to you about something. If not, it can wait until tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we won't be long. I think she's getting tired.
Yeah, it's okay. The puppy's around. I cleaned most of the mess. He already has the food and stuff. So, not to worry.
Okay, thank you.
See you later.
She hangs up. The moment you press that button, bzzzt,
Which one? The same one?
oh, your Nosferatu phone.
Oh, shh. You're not gonna even bother because unless it's a real amateur, it's not gonna have an ID. No ID, right?
Bzzzt.
Yup. I'm walking down the stairs with Alice at this point,
Okay.
getting ready to get my helmet on.
Where are you?
In one of my havens on my way to meet with Lisa Ketting.
Do what business you gotta do, and then make your way to the Warrens. I want words.
Yes, sure thing, boss.
Good.
Cool. Then,
You're gonna buzz our mutual acquaintance when you're there, and I'll know when to meet you.
sorry?
You're gonna buzz our mutual, sexually frustrated acquaintance, and I'll know when to come and meet you.
Oh, yes, sure. I know where to meet her. So, yes, cool.
Hangs up.
What? 2 primogenites in 5 minutes. What? And I start.
Time to just... Edmund, hello.
I was like, okay, so
Fuck this shit.
this guy didn't pick up. Call Susan. Call Nancy. Hey, Nancy. Because most likely she's not gonna pick up.
So, it takes a few rings, and then the phone does pick up. You leave it for a moment just to double check.
Yeah, I got
But
it.
it's not the answering machine
Hello.
again.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, there. Quick thing. I had a call from.
You can hear voices in the background.
Yeah. I got a call from Lisa Ketting.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to talk. I don't know what. And then I got a call from Jake. Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
He also wants to talk after that. Am I needed for anything, hound related?
I'm not the one that summoned you. You know who we answer to.
Yeah, but have you heard? I don't want to bother her. I think it's getting time for her nightly mass. So, also I doubt she has a phone. And if she does, she really hates me because I haven't had her phone number.
Well, she's not. As far as I'm aware, she's not at the church. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll keep the phone ready. So if I'm needed, just let me know.
Oh, by the way, our recent picnic's been tidied up.
I actually was gonna ask you about that, and if I have the chance to go by later tonight, I'll go pick up the papers that we brought last night. If not, I'll pick them up tomorrow or send Benjamin.
Yep, no problem. I've got them in a nice sealed envelope with your name on it.
Yeah, I would rather you not do that, but
Too late.
Gotta go. Probably Alice at this point is already turning on the bike, so yeah, gotta go. Bye. And hang up. Put my helmet on and count to 5. If nothing buzzes, I'm getting the motorcycle and I'm not answering anything until
Nothing does buzz.
Sorry?
You're safe. Nothing does buzz. You are safe.
Whew. Come on. I mean, I never thought having status would mean that privileges would be calling me every time. I mean, whew.
Well, you
Gotta tell you, the fame.
Oh, fame, man. It sucks. Wait until you get to your next dot status. Prince is there like, Moses! I need you, Moses!
Please no. Please no memories, no memories. Okay, so
When you get to 5, it's coming from America.
oh shoot. As long as it's not someone like dangerous, like I don't know, Lucita or something.
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right. As long as they're tame like Emrys. So, you've been driving.
Mm-hmm.
And the incessant buzzing of your phone does not distract you at all. And you continue making your way out of London. And the silence persists in the car. And unlike with most of your coterie mates, whenever they sit in the car, this is quite a heavy silence. And it's more uncomfortable because you don't know these two. I mean, if it wasn't for the voice in your head, you wouldn't even know their names or know the significance of their names. But you continue to drive out until you can see, pulling off from the road on down the side road, a sign which indicates the address of this caravan park, which got pointed out to you on the note.
Okay. I'll slow. If it's a place I can kind of pull in near the turning.
On the side grassy bit. It's
Yeah.
not a set pull in, but
So I'll check mirrors, signal, pull in,
maneuver.
and say, this seems to be the place. I was just wondering if there's anything I should be aware of, or I should know before we go inside. I do like to be prepared, you know.
That's understandable. For this, I'm going to ask Lucita to remain in the car. Sorry, she normally objects at this point. No, we're good. So, we are going to go and try and resolve a ongoing concern of yours. And then once that's out of the way, maybe you'll be more agreeable to, you know, what needs to be done.
All right. I'm not really sure what you mean, but fine. Yes. So we're going to go in there, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Just me and you.
Just us. Oh, fine.
And him. And he points towards the red car that pulls in.
I see. Yes. All right. Can I get any glimpse of the person driving the red car?
Flat cap.
Okay.
That's the one you meant earlier.
That's the one I met earlier.
Stringy hair.
Yes. That's him. And is that all fine? He didn't seem... He seemed...
Why do you think I'm asking her to stay in the car?
Yes. Yes, right. So I'll follow his lead.
He gets out of the car and begins making his way
Yeah.
over towards the park. And the moment that he steps out, you can hear the crunch of stone underfoot as he begins making his way on the pathway. And the individual that's in the car, can you do glance back, is indeed the individual that followed you into the house. And he's watching you, but he's immediately aware of Lucita, who is sat very, very still in the back of the car. She's not moving. But he either guesses who it is or is trying to take his time before he makes an approach. Because you don't see his silhouette leave the car. And you can only hear the the crunch of the star and the stones underfoot as you make your way towards the tree line, and then beyond the tree line you can just see the sign indicating that this is the caravan park, where people bring in the caravans, setting them up. So there are numerous caravans of various sizes, different models, most of them with the lights out, a few of them with the lights on, but all of them with their curtains pulled. And you begin making your way up past a numerous set of cars down towards the Isle, and Anatoly ignores them all. He just continues walking. Every now and again he stops and admires a number plate or something similar. There's once or twice he stops and then loops back around to go past an arrangement of flowers, and he just studies the arrangement of them for a long moment. And then he picks up one of them and then just moves it to go into a different position in the arrangement, and then resets it so it's in a perfect line. And then he seems satisfied and he continues making his way down towards the end of the line. And then finally he stops outside of a caravan. Before we go in, who was she?
Who was who?
The girl from your seat, sofa, couch.
Oh, you mean Amelia?
Yeah.
When you arrived?
Yeah.
Oh, Amelia, yes. She was she helps me. It's a bit of an odd story, but she used to look after a gallery for Edmund, and I didn't know until very late on, until I didn't really understand about a lot of things, honestly, but she wasn't being treated very well, and there came a time when he decided that he was very angry with her and that she had to suffer, and he wanted me to be that instrument of her suffering, and I didn't want that. And anyway, I managed to persuade him to let her go, and she came to stay with me, and I promised that I would try and give her a better life than the one she had, and I tried, but I just can't. There's just too many. There are too many things going on that are outside of my control, and too many people that are just. Sorry, that wasn't what you asked. She was a very hard-working, very diligent, very thoughtful person who didn't deserve what happened to her for a lot of her life. I suppose that's who she was. And I don't know. I thought for a while maybe I could make it different. Maybe I could make things a little better. I don't think that we make things better, but I thought maybe this could be a little different. Just not a grand thing, but a small thing, you know. And anyway, I suppose that doesn't really matter now.
What she was like on the sofa? Was that what she was like before she died?
But sort of. She was always very. She thought very carefully about how she did everything, and
that's not what I meant.
No, she was a little different. She was more. When I came back, she took the. I was a mess when I got back, and she was tending to me, and that wasn't really. She wasn't very tactile. I think with very good reason. She didn't really like being close, that wasn't really her. So that was different. She was more.
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
Did she smile?
Yeah. Do you mean her normally or her?
Her normally.
She wasn't really much of a smiler, to be honest with you. She wasn't very smiley, which I can completely understand. I haven't smiled that much myself lately, if I'm honest.
I saw her smile.
Yes, she did smile last night. Yes, that wasn't. I suppose that's different. That wasn't like her. Is that what you meant? Sometimes she would be different. I mean, sometimes even before what happened to happen, I would meet her, and she would talk to me, but then I would realise maybe it wasn't her, just looked like her, and she would tell me about things, and it would be different. And that's around the time that I started to hear about you, so I think maybe that's important. So sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's not her, but it just looks a bit like her, but then the things she says are not things that she would say. But last night she was just herself, and that was all, and it was nice. But you know, now that you mention it, she knew you were coming because she was reading to me and she kept looking at the door like you were looking for the cars. It was like that. So
we're all connected, whether we want to be or not.
Right.
But you and I are connected a little differently.
We are? How?
Well, you'll see.
All right.
You just got to learn to know what you're looking at. You kind of got it.
I have. All right.
Kind of.
So what? We're obviously here to do something, or
yeah.
So what? What do you want to do now?
Why do you think we're here?
I have absolutely no idea.
You're not seeing patterns. Why am I asking about her?
Is this connected to her? This place?
Yeah.
Right. Is this where she? I know she had a home, a family home somewhere else. Is this something about her family, or where she lived at some point, or? I'm sorry. It's been a very, very strange few nights, weeks, months. I'm sorry if I'm not getting the point.
The one inside is the one that took her life. She knows we're here. I told her that we're here.
Alicia?
Yeah.
Alicia's here? We should get Lucita because...
No. This is going to hang over you.
Yes. Are we here to get her?
No. I'm going to go in and speak to her.
And what?
And then you are going to go and say what you have to say. And do what you have to do.
All right. Are you sure that's a good idea? Because the last time I saw her, I really didn't keep very good control of myself. I don't know what I'll do if I see her. And I don't think that's going to work out very well for me.
Same thing you're going to do the next time you see someone that kills someone you like, you care about.
Is there an important reason why we're doing this? Because this seems like... I mean, I'm not fully recovered from the last time I met her, and I don't think...
You're not going to fully recover over anything until you deal with this. And where we're going, what we'll do...
Yes?
I can't have a broken mirror.
Right. Right. Are you going to make sure that she doesn't break me again? Because...
No. I won't need to. And he steps around you. And he starts making his way towards the wooden steps that go up. And he stops as he reaches the top and he turns and he gives you a half smile. And then... Alicia, it's me. I'm coming in. And he opens the door and steps inside. Where have you headed?
The cross hands.
Okay.
Previous address that she knows. I'm going to my domain, Camberwell, where I know, well, hopefully, that she'll be there.
Yeah. So you make your way towards the crossstands. Very, very conscious of the fact that there's still a police presence. Not to the outward, to the outsider looking in. Most of the identifiable police cruisers are in different places, every now and again going through the area. But you are aware, because you are taking note just out of habit, that every now and again there goes a car going past, and you can see someone with a stab vest on. And you know that the police are still making non-uniform circuits around. But you do manage to see a car positioned not too far away from where the crossstands is. Not close enough that it's going to draw any unwanted attention, but it's one of the few ones that are parked up that still has people in.
Well, I just tap Alice on the leg and point over the car. And step behind. I just, still with my helmet, walk until I see the people in the car.
Lisa Ketting steps out of the car. She's got a long coat on that's tied with a wide sash. And as she steps out, she gestures for you to get out the other side of the car.
I just pull the visor, not the whole face, just the visor, which would be like a normal conversation still for people around, but they would have to be like in front of me to see my eyes.
You immediately recognize Lisa Ketting, as she adjusts the glasses and she steps around towards the front of the car. The car stops moving as she reaches in and turns off the ignition. And then you recognize Sarah getting out of the other side of the car.
Evening, ladies.
There's somewhere I'd like to discuss with you if you would like us to move somewhere a little less open.
Yes, please.
And she begins leading the way.
I signal to Alice, it's like, let's go around, come back in 20. Like what we discussed. Yes.
Turns on the engine and just begins riding off. You begin walking down towards a familiar car park. You haven't been there for a while. And the place is... There's one or two cars in there, but there's no life signs. You step in...
Anyone with a crowbar or anything?
Do you want to check?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool.
So you step in and you take your helmet off. Lisa Ketting moves towards the far end.
Still put on a beanie or... No, baseball cap. I used to still put on a baseball cap.
She keeps
Don't want to
towards
draw attention.
the far end of the area. And then stops and turns. Ensuring that Sarah is in close pace before she turns back to you. I hope I've not interrupted anything important.
Well, just merely delayed a small matter of clan business, but...
Well, I'll try not to keep you too long. Not only because I also have my own affairs to deal with, but you also have yours. I believe you know my companion, Sarah Matthews.
Sarah Woods.
Sarah Matthews.
Hi, Sarah. You married?
I will preempt this entire discussion by saying she has legal residency within the city. At my behest, at the power of the prince. This overrides any other obligation you have with regarding her residency.
Absolutely. It's actually a little bit of a miracle. So I am actually I'm kind of happy for you that. Remember when we had that conversation in the museum, in the gallery? Sorry. Like I meant it. There were multiple accounts of many nasty things coming on over your head. And it's my job, I'm sorry. But okay,
This is a discussion that could potentially be had at a later time. For two reasons. First, the matter of my gratitude, which I mentioned on the phone. Whilst I have taken responsibility for her education, leading towards her formal induction into the city, as you can imagine, her parent is not exactly in the position, hopefully, to be giving her tutelage.
I would assume that should her sire just set foot in anywhere the prince has any
The constable's already out looking for her.
Exactly. So it is my belief that she is to be taken as a fledgling under your care.
Yes. But my request is that she take up residency with you and yours. In exchange for a major boon.
For our coterie.
For the coterie. Provided her education becomes my responsibility and is not something you take upon yourself.
Then why would she be part of the coterie with us?
Because her safety would be your concern. I have a city to try and salvage.
Me too. And I am first line
I'll
of defense.
trade my responsibilities for yours, Hound. If you ensure that she is kept safe, I will ensure that what happened to her kin does not happen to her for the same reasons. As you can understand and appreciate, by taking responsibility for her, it's my own neck on the line as well.
Absolutely. I can only promise to be as diligent as I was with her brother.
Oh, believe me, if she proves to be as... She pauses for a moment as though trying to find
Reckless.
a kinder word.
Yeah, I just go with reckless.
Short-sighted as her kin.
I mean, I covered no less than half a dozen breaches.
I'm well aware. Believe me, this is a matter I've looked into in the aftermath of my meeting with...
Many of them aren't, like, people are not even aware that even...
Which is why it's in everybody's best interest that she has the best education. I cannot look after her and consumer safety. This is not something that I planned for. Were I going to take my own child, I would ensure I had the means of ensuring their safety and tutelage. At the moment, I can only afford one of those.
Well, I can only speak for myself, and I would accept. Jim would have wanted it. Regardless of what happened between him and me, we were coterie mates, so I'll honor that. And
if any of your
that's
coterie,
just my voice.
If any of your coterie has an issue with this, contact me at your earliest convenience, and I will consider the boon null and void, and I shall remove her from your hands.
Understood.
Within 3 nights.
Oh yeah, I'll try to get a hold of Katya and Ben as soon as possible. But again, my guarantee extends to doing everything in my power as I did with her brother. There are things not even I can hide.
If she's responsible for her own injuries, then I consider that to be on her head. But if you could have protected her and you didn't, I will consider that to be on yours.
Yes, I think we're in somewhat of an agreement there. Yeah. How long is this arrangement for?
The arrangement, considering it is a major boon, will be until she is acknowledged by the prince.
As a neonate.
As a neonate.
Understood.
Once she is considered to be a neonate, then her survival is on her.
Yep. I think she'll be alright.
And what about you, Sarah? You're not going to receive better offers, unfortunately. However, if you are set against it, you don't need to reside with them. But you will need to account for yourself.
Okay.
She is to be referred to as Sarah Matthews. Woods is dead.
Okay.
I will not allow that name to be used, for obvious reasons.
Not for her. Understood. There's a small matter of our haven exploding in her brother's last escapade, so...
As I understand it, her kin did not have a place of residency. I would look upon you as a coterie.
Yeah.
To ensure that she has safety for
we are, as a coterie, trying to figure out whether or not we should take residence again inside our domain or keep it to our own private, personal.
However you wish to do it. She has my contact number.
Understood.
Just inform me of where she is.
Sure thing.
That's all I ask. Is there anything further you wish to discuss? Any points require clarification?
Nothing as such from my part. It seems like a very straightforward boon, the way I see it. I will contact the rest of my coterie. I will ask, though, tonight I am lacking any personal transportation. Remember my car accident. I mean, if she has seen all times we have covered for each other, or my motorcycle, so I'm lacking all of those. So I'm riding with somebody else. I have no way of transporting her. Could it be possible that she... Could you drop her at Elysium in a place with... Like, do you have a way of keeping her in Elysium? Well, she'll be safe with somebody else. So
All
I can
kindred are allowed into the Elysium unless the Keeper of Elysium or the Prince decides otherwise. I will take her there, but she will need to be moved before sunrise.
Yes, exactly. Before the end of the night. Sarah, can I have your phone for a second, please? I just make it easy. Tell me it's a Nokia.
Sure. Nokia, sponsored by Bun.
Oh, well, one of the old ones. It's just 2001.
It's a slightly burnt Nokia.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that harsh.
If it's one that allows for 2 cards, I just put a second one. It's so much easier.
I'm not that generous.
Damn. I'll spit dial on number 6. My public number.
Okay.
Okay? And for Moses, spit dial. And now that I have her phone, I will try to pick you up after midnight, but I'm going to meet my own primogen, and I have no idea what he wants. Don't worry, if it's not me, it'll be Benjamin. I believe you did not meet him, but I will try. If not, I will try Katya, which I believe you did meet. I don't remember. Was I the only person you met that night you were looking for Jim? When you slept in my hideout? Oh, I just put a hand on her shoulder. It's like I had no, like... Sorry, I didn't...
Cry if you need to, but wipe your eyes.
Sorry. been a dick. Apologies. You'll be safe with us. I'll pick you up. I'll keep you posted. Is that okay with you?
If you would be so kind as to pass a message on to Benjamin for me. I've taken the liberty of refurbishing. It's in everyone's best interest that the gallery become operational as soon as possible.
Oh, the visions of Volvi,
Voltaire.
him. Wait a second. Will you be helping him? I think he had an idea of opening again. Like doing a grand opening or something at some point. But I don't know. I mean, he was like refurbishing the place. We never had like many conversations about that.
I'm talking the minor refurbishments that happened in the wake of...
Oh, cleanup business. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes. I'll let him know.
Thank you. I will take you over to the asylum.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Moses. And I hope the rest of your evening carries you well.
Me too. I put on my helmet, see Sarah one last time, say nothing, pull my visor down, and walk back to where Alice is going to pick me up in a couple of minutes.
Waits for you to go.
Mm-hmm. Gone.
Are you okay? I don't mean to sound heartless, but you need to be careful. You're not in my haven at the moment. It's very human to want to cry. But your tears you're not human anymore.
Yeah.
On the outside, at least. Lead back to the car. So, she makes her way back with you towards the car, climbs into it, and then, after a few moments, waiting until a few cars have passed, takes off. Anatoly has been inside for at least 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the initial voices that you heard, or the initial voice you heard, was indeed Alicia's.
I'm wondering whether just the sound of her voice is enough to provoke me to fury frenzy, or whether I actually need to see her in the flesh before
Your call.
that happens. I mean, I might as well get it over with now and find out. But I just don't think that Benjamin, it was like a couple of nights ago, I don't think he's going to be able to hear. I mean, either that or fear frenzy, your choice. But I think he's going to have some kind of massive instant reaction, because she was obviously traumatizing in their last meeting. So, you know, I'm happy to go either way.
Before we do that, just in chat saying that they missed 30 seconds. Is that due to an audio issue?
No.
No? Okay, yeah, just wanted to double check. So, it's entirely up to you. You didn't hear, like, actual words. You know the tone is hers. But there has been aggressive tones, aggressive voices, and then a soft one in response. And then voices have died down.
Okay.
And you can't hear what's being said. But you're left standing there, just staring at this building. You can't see inside. This structure, you can't see inside. And it's silent.
Hmm.
But you can almost feel like there's a dialogue going on.
Yeah. I will be feeling very agitated. I will be sort of and listening obviously out for the slightest hint of something kicking off.
And then, finally, the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
And Anatoly steps out. His hair retied back. And he shuts the door quietly and steps down towards you. If you want anything to be said, if there's anything you want to do, now's your chime.
I mean,
But when you leave here,
yes.
that's it.
What do you mean that's it? What does that mean? Sounds very final.
Well, this is a branch in your future.
You mean as in whatever I'm going to talk?
This is your choice. Ahead is two paths. One led by Simon, and one led by Benjamin. And only one of them's going to survive the Fields of Red.
When you say Fields of Red, do you mean that caravan?
No,
No.
that's a caravan.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a little confused. And it's very and I have to go in and see her. I don't know what I'm going to do when I see her. Do you understand? I don't know if I'm going to run away. I don't know if I'm going to talk to her. I don't know if I'm just going to run up the walls. I don't know if I'm going to throw myself and try and... I just don't know.
Good.
All right.
Do you know how freeing it is to have choice? You've got a big one to make now.
All right.
Your real self's going to make the choice for you. But at least you have the illusion of it.
I don't know about real selves. I don't know. It's all crumbling. It's all mixed and messed and
It's not a mess. Not when you look at it in its entirety.
I don't see it in its entirety.
Because you're not looking at the whole thing. You're looking at a very small part. You're
don't-
looking at the part that concerns you.
Yes. Isn't that what most people do?
That's not what we do.
All right. I need to go in there, and you won't let her do what she did before to me.
I'm not going in there.
You're saying that she might just do what she did before, and you're just not gonna stand there here and let it happen?
You don't need me in there.
All right. Fine. Because we could just call the constable. I think she'd really like to see at least... No.
That's an option.
I mean, that's often what I do in these sort of situations.
That's what one of you does. Like I said.
Fine. I'll go in. So I'll go up to the step or whatever it is to get into the caravan door, and I will listen at the door for a moment in case there's any kind of sounds of movement or...
Anatoly doesn't move, he just watches you.
I will knock out some kind of like politeness that is sort of woven into my system that I can't quite avoid, and then I'll open the door.
Okay. This caravan is quite compact, and it's in a state of disarray. There are pieces all over the place. Curtains, old curtains, are hanging over cabinets, whereas new ones have been recently put up. The table is cluttered with debris. None of it organic, but just different pieces. There's some maps, there's some notes, there's some photographs, but most of them are turned over and you can't quite get a glance at them. Mm-hmm. None of the lights are working. It's dark in here. And some of the doors are open, and there's clothes strewn on the floor. And the kitchen sink, although nothing is dirty, is cluttered. And as you look slowly, you look over towards the far end of the caravan, where there is a makeshift hanging which blocks, you're assuming to be the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else there.
So I will move very kind of deliberately, with quite a lot of reluctance, towards the hanging. I might stop though by some of the photos, because you said they were turned over. I'll turn one back over and just see who the photo seems to be of.
They're pictures that you immediately recognise. You recognise the people in them, but not the pictures themselves.
Okay.
And they're pictures of what you are assuming to be a young Jim and a young Sarah.
Mm.
There's also several pictures of a young lady. Not in the same pictures, but separate. That look to be older and faded. And these ones, you can tell they're older and faded because of the crease that runs down the middle of them, which shows that they've been periodically closed and opened, closed and opened. Shows that they've been weathered and used often. And it takes you a long moment of staring at it, but you recognize, you look, and it's almost like this girl that's in the picture is recognizable, but you don't quite know where from.
But there's something familiar about her.
Very.
Do I think it could be a familial resemblance between Sarah and Jim and this woman?
It could be.
Okay. So I'll put the pictures back as they were, and I'll very slowly move to the hanging, and just very slowly put it back.
Illuminated by the very faint light outside the curtains, there's a bed that takes up the majority of this rectangular space, and there is a silhouette upon it that you immediately recognise as Alicia.
Okay.
And she's on her knees on the bed, and she's slumped forwards, and her hands are gripped upon the bedspread.
Okay.
And you can tell that by the way that the duvet, part of the mattress, and the undersheet are just bunched between her. What you initially think are fingers, but they're not, they're talons, and they're embedded in the bed.
Okay.
And she's shivering, is the only way to kind of explain it. And her hair falls freely about in front of her, and you can't quite make out her face, but you know it's her. Very slowly, as you finish pushing it apart, she lifts back, and the talons are embedded so much so that the mattress seems to shift underneath her, and she almost pulls it away with her, and her eyes are blood red, and there are tears streaking, and the pool of blood which is around her suggests that she is wept, and it is all over in front of her. And when she leans back, she doesn't see you, she just seems to be staring through you at something in the distance that only she can see. And her body continues to shake, and although she has the physical motions of someone that's crying, she makes no sound.
Okay. I think I'm going to stare at her for quite a while. Partly to see if she comes out of this state, but also partly trying to process.
She continues to stare back at you, but there is no recognition there. It's like she's looking through, but she is looking in your direction.
Is she? Did you say she's kneeling like on the bed?
She's now on her knees, but she's squatted back. Her hair now pulled around, matted from the blood. And her eyes are blood red. Shot. And the blood's just running freely. It's not old tears, she's still crying. But there's no sound coming from her. And then, as she gasps, just a shuddering gasp, again no sound, you realise that there is no tongue poking out. And then as you kind of glance down to where she's pulled the mattress, you see that she's bitten through it. And it's just there next to her.
Okay. I'm... Sorry, do you want me to make a frenzy check incidentally?
It's entirely your call.
I mean, I was all set for one, but I wonder actually if this is... whether he's not going to throw himself. But I'm happy to make the roll there if you want. It's something that doesn't seem as... If she'd just been sitting there, like looking at him, I think he might have just lost it, because she's in this state, it's a bit...
Is it... How big a percentage would you say it is that you're lifting at the moment? To which avenue you want to go?
I think I'm more percentage leaning away from making the frenzy check, but I'm happy to make one.
Roll percentile. You've got percentile dice.
Oh my god. That's true. I do have percentile.
You choose the percentage of what likelihood he is to not frenzy, and then roll against that.
Okay, so I'm going to say White's is 10s, and I'm going to say he's about 25% likely to frenzy. So if I get under 25, I will make a frenzy check.
Frenzy!
Yes, you better believe it, people, because it's my luck. So...
So I actually got 15.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not frenzying.
You're not.
No.
The beast awakens. And you can feel your entire body beginning to tense as you stare at her. As she stares through you. And the beast is there. And it's cunning. It doesn't know how to communicate the words to you. But it has other means. And it begins flashing images within the back of your mind. Almost like flashes from a camera. Of Amelia. When she's in front of you. Amelia when she's being held. The pain on Amelia's face when she is being ran through. And in each and every single one of these, she is just staring at you. Pleadingly. And there is absolutely no masking the pain on her face. The horror, the shock, the sadness. It's all there. And the beast is making pains to show this to you. I need that roll then. Did you pass the roll? You did pass the roll. Yes, you did.
I got 4 successes, so if that's enough, which I assume it is.
Yeah. It is.
Alright. I'm going to move closer to her.
The beast is still there, but you have control on it. It's just an incessant voice in your ear at this point. It has no control. But it's still there, and you can still hear it. You can still see those images.
I'll look at her for quite a few long moments and then say, quite quietly, "Can you hear me, Alicia?"
She swallows.
It's quite convenient, this, isn't it? I'll point at her tongue. It means you can't say anything. But I see you. I know something about you. I know even if you had that tongue, you'd have nothing to say. Would you?
She swallows again. Continues to cry, but swallows.
You know, I used to think that Jim wasn't doing very well. But now, I know he was doing very well. Because he had you. As a sire. What did you give him? You gave him nothing. What have you ever done? I want you to think about that question, because if I'm right, I think you want to give me a really good answer quite soon. It seems interesting to me that you would keep pictures of that family, and then you would turn Sarah on what? A whim? And then dump her in my home? You know, I used to think you were impressive, but actually you're like me. Do you know that? You're a confection. You're pretense. You're a void with a face. That's what you are. If I'm wrong, if you can bring back your tongue, or if you can give me an answer, I'll walk away. I will walk away. If you can't, I'm going to make you pay for what you did to Amelia, for what you did to Sarah, for what you did to Jim. I see you. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm going to look around to see if there is anything that's a suitable implement for violence for a few moments. Obviously, giving her a chance to speak.
Knives and forks.
And then I'll suddenly stop and say, no, I've got it. I've got the perfect thing. I'll take out the penknife that Jim gave me, that Darren Fitcher had. Now, Jim tells me you're all about being tough and strong, and that you always have answers. So give me an answer. Give me a reason why your existence is worth prolonging, because all I see is death and chaos.
I can't.
I'll open the knife. No. Do you know what I was doing before you called me? I was rescuing your child. I was rescuing him. I was doing everything I could to help him. And because what? Because I didn't do what you wanted? Because I was a soft target? You came after me? If you were anything like you pretended to be, you would have gone after the prince. You would have gone after the constable. You would have gone after the people that destroyed him. But you're a lie. And so you came after me because I was easy. Did it make you feel better? Did you feel like a big, strong vampire? Did you feel like you'd avenged your child when you killed Amelia? Did you feel like you'd brought justice when you embraced his sister and dumped her? Couldn't even be bothered to look after her yourself? I know what it is to be empty, Alicia. I know what it is to be unworthy of existence. I don't want to see you again. Jim gave me this, by the way, so I could protect myself. Do you know I've never really used it, I've never really used it to protect myself. I think it's fitting you have this. I think it's fitting you decide where you think you should stick it. I'll put the knife down in front of her. And I will... Is there a window or something in here that's in the caravan?
Yeah, there's one circle in the bed.
Is it blocked?
Yeah.
I'll pull the blockage off it until it's clear. So, and you can decide whether you want to stay here or not. And I think I'll leave it there. Walk out.
Okay. So. You step out of the caravan. Anatoly hasn't moved. And he waits for you to shut the door and step down. Then he approaches you. Welcome back, Benjamin. You ready?
Yes.
Good, because now comes the hard part. And he turns and very slowly starts walking back down the trail.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
Okay. Asylum looks pretty much how it was the last time you were there, although at this point, midway through the week, it's not that busy. Certainly not at this hour. There's few people in there that warrants the music being on, that has a few drinks going back and forth, but it is largely empty. The only few people that are in here, the way that they kind of look over at Lisa the moment she walks in, and it's not a kind of, appraising look, it's more of a differential look, and it's fleeting, but it's there, and you notice it as you're looking over. And these are the people you immediately know are your kind. And they make up the vast majority of the people in the room. So, is there anything you need?
I don't think so right now.
Okay. You have my number. You also now have Moses's. And, at least for the next 3 days until I hear different, he is someone that you can turn to. Cautiously. But I can't promise that I can answer the phone within the next couple of hours. There's a few bits and pieces that need attending to. My phone will be off. So if you do need anything, he's the one to contact. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
And it looks like someone wants to speak to you anyway.
I'll look over.
So. There is a kindred who is watching you. You immediately recognize this individual as Miles Wright. The kindred who originally, the one that was speaking to Lisa Ketting before, the one that has been identified as the one in charge of Asylum. And he waits for Lisa to go, then comes over. Enjoying yourself?
I don't know yet.
You look like you could use a drink. Follow me. Starts making his way back towards that same room and holds the door open for you.
Follow in.
Okay. Steps inside and he goes and takes his seat and then gestures for you to take the one opposite.
Yep.
So, Drinks in that canister there.
Yeah. Take a look at
The
it.
kind that you can drink. Cold, but...
Yeah. Dip a finger in it and taste it.
It's blood.
Just
Blood. It's nice, but it's cold.
but not like really nice.
I've gotten used over the years to recognizing people that are in shit position socially. I mean, you're up there. It's a long list. You're up there. So was I once. Do you know what a caitiff is?
No.
Yeah, see, I knew you were green. I didn't know how green. So,
You are caitiff?
yeah. You belong to a clan, right? Of course you do.
Yeah.
So does every vampire in the city. Until they don't. And when you don't belong to a clan, you don't belong to anything of prestige. You don't have that political kind of oomph. It's like going to a college campus and then not having a frat house. It's like being the only orphan, the only adopted child. I mean, you're allowed to exist, but that's it.
So, the caitiff are how people would refer to those without a clan?
Yeah, you get cheated by shit. You don't have that problem. I did. Still do to a degree. But my point is, this is a cushy position. I'm caitiff. You can overcome your obstacles. Or you can let them overcome you and you can be a smear on the ground. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm not sure I do.
You're in for a hell of an ass kicking. Socially, physically, mentally, morally. You're entering into a whole new world. Oh, you think it's hard now? It's gonna get worse. And unless you have the backbone and the willpower to stop it, or at least ride with it, you ain't gonna survive. So I'm looking at you and I see two things. I see someone that is similar to me, and I also see someone that's on the fence about whether this is worth it.
Is it?
Depends what you're after. You want power? Fuck yeah, it's worth it. You want everything you wanted in life, as long as it's not a suntan. Yeah, worth it. You want to be able to go to bed every morning knowing that you're a good person? Fuck no. You want to be able to make the world a little better than how you found it? Then no. Of course it's not. Just because we're not the slathering creatures that you see in the films doesn't mean that we're not every bit the monsters they depict. But you've got to become okay with that. I don't think you're ready for that. I'm telling you this now because I know why you're still here. I also know who you are. Yeah, don't brick yourself. If I wanted to have you killed, I would have had it at the door. Sure, I would have had to kiss a few asses. But once the big guy knows who you are, I'm pretty certain he'd forgive me. My point is, you're starting off worse than most. Now, I don't know if I've got like a soft spot for the underdog or if I'm just feeling in a charitable mood. But I'm sick to death of seeing new faces and then forgetting them just as quickly. I've been where you are. I wish someone was sat in this seat when I was sat in that one. I didn't have that. I ain't asking for pity. I'm not looking for it. That's not the point of this story. The point of the story is you have this now. Doesn't mean I'm going to be at your beck and call. You got Primogen for that. But which, by the way, real fucking suspicious. Just saying. Hey, not on your part, on hers. But here's what it is. Point is, don't give up. Or do. Your call. But if you're still here in a couple of nights, give it your all. Because I ain't gonna let you do less.
What do you want from me?
I don't want fucking nothing. You can't give me nothing. You're not even a neonate. What the fuck you gonna give me?
I don't know.
I don't want shit from you. As far as I'm concerned, you not being here, you being, is absolutely no different to me. But I think if you're around in a couple of years, who knows, it could change. For the better, hopefully. Maybe I'm just sick of being in a city where every single fucker is older than me, you know? Plus, I knew someone that owed your brother. I ain't saying who, so don't ask. And no, it's not on our side of things, it's on his side of things. Nothing to commit me to obligation, you understand, but just enough to make your name on my ears a bit warmer. So I don't completely hate your guts, let's leave it at that. It's refreshing for me. Because I'm a bit of an asshole. Have your drink, it's not poison.
Keep drinking.
I ain't gonna offer you my shoulder to cry on. I'm not gonna offer to be the one that you can come to and talk to about all your issues, because I got enough on my plate. God knows everyone in this city has enough on their plates, but ain't you got what it takes to at least survive the year? Let's make that the landmark. But if you do die, don't do it on my, asylum. It's costly. I like this club. Do you know how many fucking Vorman asses I had to kick to get this? Once you finish that, head back out.
No, finish it. And then,
There's a blonde by the door. Tell her she can come in now.
Madame. Thank you. What was the door?
There is indeed a blonde outside the door.
Any? Do I recognise her at all? Or just...
Him. And no.
Okay. He's waiting for you.
Okay. Puts down the drink and starts making over towards the door. Closes the door. It's quite clear he has no idea why he's got to go into this office, but the fact it looks official and you've just come out of it, he goes in there. So, you are now free in the club. Is there anything you wish to do? Anyone you wish to call? Anything? That's all.
I'm just gonna sort of polite mingle, just just nothing. Just kind of mingle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you heading?
I tell Alice that I that I have to go to the Warrens. So I ask her to drop me off the best entrance to the system that'll get me the closest to the tunnels, so I can so I walk the least distance.
Okay.
So it only takes me 20 minutes or half hour inside the tunnels instead of an hour or two.
Cool. Alright, so she'll drop you something close by. But before we go into your scene and everything it entails, we're going to go on a break because I've just checked the time and holy shit am I shit at timekeeping. Sorry guys. So yeah, we are now on a break and I think Phil forgives me, maybe.
But Phil's bladder doesn't.
God damn it, Titus.
Alright, so let's
relationship man.
Oh, and dangerous mic collisions. Right, so...
Wait, I just need to sort out some audio stuff just
More audio.
There's something I forgot to do. You can keep talking. But
we can keep talking.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Hi.
So we've got the relationship map here. Not a lot of changes this time, just mainly that Lucita has been added to the board. Hooray for Lucita.
Where?
Where the La Sombra crown is.
Mate, I'm blind even with these on. Slightly less blurry.
Next to Anatoly in the whereabouts of Benjamin.
Yeah, in that kind of vague... She's also sort of cuddling up to Mel's right as well.
Nice.
Yeah, we should put Miles
we
right
should probably
close to Sarah.
Yeah, we'll move Miles right. Don't worry, we'll move him. So that's for his own protection. So that's that one. And then the Board of the Dead does also have some updates that we will do.
Thank you, Callum.
Dylan.
Okay.
Muertos.
So with the Board of the Dead, I suppose the one of them which I'll hand over to Carlos for is
A shared kill of...
Where is it? Where is it? Where has it gone?
Oh, I have Ewan as well. And
Oh, here we go. It's down here.
yeah, the 7...
You might need to lift it. I think there's miniatures.
Oh, yes, it says 7 very bad people. And it's a shared kill with Nancy.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
So it's a shared kill, and they really were bad people. That's what we tell ourselves anyway.
It's a kill of 7 people.
And I'm sure they had it coming. And the other addition is from Benjamin, which is down here, which is a lot, as in really lots of birds. Because people thought that was important to mark for my embarrassment forever on the board.
It's now zoologically fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Animals are fairly and equally represented.
So, Moses has killed a werewolf. Jim managed to get a building.
And
then
the bird slayer.
We're nothing if not, equal opportunity murderers.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Honestly,
you have a building then. I mean, that's hard to top. That's very hard.
We can't top building. So the other thing to do is a quick shout out to Sarah, who is one of our new patrons. Thank you very much for supporting the stream.
Yeah!
And just to say, if you are one of our patrons and you haven't checked the site lately, there's been some updates regarding how you can take advantage of your SPC and art rewards. So do check that out. Your perks.
Is that on our website or the Patreon?
That is on the
On the
Patreon. So if you are a patron, go to the Patreon site and you will find new posts waiting for you with all that information.
With which there's a link in the chat.
They're good, aren't they?
I know, right?
Also, tomorrow we will be releasing a video
Oh, yes.
at 5 p.m. UK time. It is one of the goals, one of the milestones we achieved on Patreon, and it's educating Carlos. And it's watch it. They gave me a lot of stuff, and it's
That's such a pain voice.
It means I am torn. I don't know how I feel.
It is a thing of beauty, and you won't regret it. Do check it out; it's lovely.
The smile on their faces make it clear you want to see it.
Yeah, what after what we kind of put him through, I am scared for the class educates us. But yeah, honestly, it's hilarious. My ribs were hurting after I saw it.
Yeah. If you hear giggling and sniggering in the back, it's these two and other people.
There were a few of us enjoying ourselves.
Apart from me, I am innocent in all this.
I couldn't.
Actually, quite surprisingly, he is. He had nothing to do in that. Well,
Yeah.
he probably gave Phil some ideas.
Oh no.
So,
No.
on that sort of bombshell of Titus's brief innocence and his one thing, are there any questions from chat?
Yeah, there are a few. We've comment who asked this, didn't write it down. But who would you? I think we asked it, we started this. But who would you like to play your character in a film version of the show?
Who would I like
Yeah,
to play
your character.
Moses? Oh,
Yeah.
leave me for last. Oh,
Okay, me
which
first.
one, Sarah or Jim?
Yeah. Then I've got two.
Both.
Or
Both of them.
pick the first one you can think of an answer for.
Right, so, Sarah, I think Anna Kendrick, I think would be pretty good.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
I agree for Ashley Sass. It never is the ST's fault.
Yes, it is. But I think maybe from Jim, maybe Shia LaBeouf. I don't know. I think I'm just names are just coming into my head, to be honest.
Oh man, it's difficult. I might have, I don't know. There's also a bit of me, you know, when you cast someone a TV version and they tend to be like, if it was a film version of Blood on the Thames, of course all the characters would be far more attractive than they actually are in Blood on the Thames, right? So because it would be a film version of, apart from
In
you,
a weird way, when he's got curly hair, James Masters.
James Masters would be great.
Oh.
Funnily enough, I was thinking
The
Buffy.
more nerdy version of James.
Yeah, a nerdy James Masters. I was also thinking about what's his face who plays Giles, but again a more kind of nerdy. Rupert no, not Everett.
Forever? No.
I don't know, but anyway, a younger, sort of not actually that much younger, sort of him early.
Wesley.
Oh yeah, the guy who plays Wes. See, so some nerdy Brit version of a character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel, one of the two, is almost certainly. He's great, but I think he'd have to be a bit more. He can play on the bumbling end. He'd have to be on the bumbling end, but that
I
kind
think
of.
that's like 80% of his character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well then, chat Anthony's two ahead.
There we go.
Cool.
God, I feel really bad. That
Thank you, chap.
He's one of my favourite actors.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
If it were like in
And
a
he was
series,
great on the coffee adverts
Oh, yeah.
too.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Would
Would have been really good for Ben.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it?
Love it.
Not love it. Love it.
Love it.
If it's the series version of it
JGL.
for Moses, I would go with. Have you watched that 70s show?
Yes.
Fess. He's actually Venezuelan. And he would have the physique and also the proper mannerisms that I could see in Moses because he's been in other roles beside that role of Fess.
I mean, I do feel like a sort of Andy Serkis, obvious.
Who's on the circus?
Andy Serkis, he does like Gollum and people like that.
King
Oh,
Kong.
So he's like known for his ability
Monkey
to take on
in
characters.
Odyssey.
And, yeah.
Oh,
But that I think that would be it. And if it's the movie version, I would go. I'm crap at celebrity names. The guy that made the series, the hacker. I wrote. I what?
Yeah, I know who you're on about.
Rami Malek.
That's it.
The guy who played Freddie Mercury.
Yes, that guy. That guy. He would also have because he has like the proper.
Saved by the Dilly.
Thank you, Dilly. So, see? A series one and a movie one.
But having said that, I bet people watching have much better answers to this question.
Yeah,
than we
absolutely.
do.
Probably
So
they already...
I'm just waiting for a list of like, you're wrong, it's this person.
Yeah, people saying like you are absolutely wrong.
Do correct us with who should be playing our character.
But again, fast because he's Venezuelan and I think his name is Nelson. Like I know that the actor himself is Venezuelan or Venezuelan born or from parents.
Admittedly, I just came into my head, but I think maybe for Plucky Jake, Alexander Ward, I think would be perfect.
Yes. Alexander Ward for Plucky Jake.
Yes.
He would do like
amazing.
Moses with a shovel.
God, do you know what that's said to me? Muppet version of PJ.
Yeah.
The voice you just did.
Yeah.
So, any other questions?
That's not an insult. I love the Muppets.
Okay.
So we got one from JCVIN.
Hello.
Thanks for joining again.
We'll
Agreed.
pop that for now, but we'll catch this question back up.
Yeah.
Wondering what your favourite clans were.
Ooh, classic.
Last.
So actually, this has changed since playing Blood on the Seven.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to add the Ministry to my favourite clans, but also, I mean, Malkavian, obviously, people, great. Play Malkavians are the best, and also Ventru, Brew. I mean, loads. I love them all really. Mm-hmm. But any clan which immediately adds an extra layer to what you're playing is like catnip for me. So any of those kind of wins.
We're a year into this now.
We are a year in.
Oh my god.
You got no excuses anymore.
I think I am now most definitely biased towards a particular clan. But
Malkavian, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But of course, when we get to Blood and the Tamesis, I will be exploring a different clan other than Gangrel. I will say that for definite.
Gangrel anti-tribute.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I have been thoroughly enjoying playing Gangrel. As from what I can see of the clans, it's the clan that's closest to me.
Cool.
I would go with. I mean, I think pretty much the same. Like, especially if you are a storyteller, at some point you find something of every single clan that you appreciate. But there are some that, of course, are going to be your favorites because they add that little extra layer of, like, if you create a mortal, which is a very good, like, well thought of concept, you pretty much can add any clan template to it, and there would be, like, it would be difficult for, if the character is well created, it will be difficult not to find a way to make it work. The thing is that some clans will actually add something other than, oh, you're just a vampire with these disciplines. And I think some of the clans that could work with that, like, in a heartbeat, of course, Nosferatu immediately turns everything immortal upside down, so it brings a different psychology to characters. La Sombra as well, because they are, I see them psychologically also in that part. They are like high there, with the up there with the Ventrus and the Bruyas and the Simsei and other clans. But interacting with mortals gets complicated, especially in the modern world, because they can be spotted so fast. It's basically one of my favorite characters, clans. Bruya and Ventru very strongly towards them. Toreador, the way they have done the fifth division, all of the clans, but again, some clans are very difficult to like, to an extent that you say, oh, this is my super favorite clan. From my perspective, they add very little to the vampire concept. It's like, oh yeah, you're a vampire and that's it. But if you're a vampire and a Toreador, then you have another level, in my opinion. So.
I'm kind of torn between three. 3 currently. It kind of shifts for different reasons, but either the Bruya, Malkavian.
Correct.
But if I'm not doing Camis or Anox, then Zimase.
Yes.
They're my secret faves at the moment.
I would go Ventru, Ministry, La Sombra.
Alazombra and Zimase should talk sometime.
Absolutely, sire.
Yes. It would be awesome.
So, time for one more quick one, maybe?
We've got 2 which we can do really quickly.
Okay.
2 quick ones.
Okay,
Cool,
okay.
cool.
Why do I have the
Such a
impression
hard
that...
sell, he won't...
Yeah,
okay.
this is going to be Mitch saying, what's your favorite color or something.
No, it's not Mitch.
No,
that's
Mitch
the
isn't
second
there.
question.
Okay.
Mitch is slacking.
Well, we'll ask one.
That should
which
draw him
is, so Foon Swindon again.
Oh.
Name the Malkavian, Toreador, Venture, and Bruya primogens. Go. Quick, first name.
Malkavian.
Toreador, Venture, and Bruya.
Okay,
So,
you say the Malkavian. I'm gonna go with the Bruya primogen. Her name is Gemma.
Okay, we got Gemma for the Bruya.
The Swindon Malkavian primogen is going to be called Dobby.
Hey.
Toreador.
They are called Enrique.
Enrique. Nice name.
I hope this isn't actually for like Chronicle where the ST's like, no, why Dobby?
Enrique.
Swindon Prince last week.
We did.
Within the Prince, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
what was the last clan?
What was the last one?
one was from Galaxy Heart.
No,
There was a
clan.
quest. There was a clan to identify.
Venture.
Venture.
Do the Ventru.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Okay. And the last one was from Galaxy Heartbeat,
Oh no.
which if you had to have one, which would it be? A cornflake sandwich or
Oh,
a
she's-
ketchup smoothie?
Are we sure this isn't Mitch?
A cornflake sandwich.
She's filling in for Mitch, I
Or
feel.
what?
Garimola.
An eggs.
An egg and an egg smoothie. An egg and
Cooked or raw?
something?
Eggs and sausage?
Cooked or raw egg?
Exactly. Is it cooked? This is warm. Information, people.
Cornflake sandwich. Cornflake
Yeah, exactly.
sandwich because it is less
cornflake
bomb
sandwich,
inducing.
yes.
You're the
Cornflakes.
same, are you? You same?
Yeah, cornflakes.
Thomas, you might as well answer this.
sandwich
Cornflake
wins.
sandwich or a horror smoothie with eggs and things?
Well, given that I've had a Wicked Wendy's, probably the smoothie.
Yeah, it's gonna be an eggs and
If
sausage.
you don't know what a
smoothie.
Wicked Wendy's is like,
I assume
onion
that's
and
some
mushy
kind of
peas
euphemism.
and stuff all put into a milkshake and stuff like that.
So,
It's
Titus gave
horrendous.
us the wrong answer. The right answer is cornflakes.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Because
As
it's the type
Grassy
of
Sassa
sandwich that you
said,
can dunk
the
in milk.
STs do not give wrong answers.
You can
So-
bite, dunk it in milk.
Thank,
bite it in.
thank you very much for all of your
Yep.
questions, especially those that evoke a sense of storytelling horror.
Otherwise, just quick on Titus. What was the American accent?
I know this question was coming up. I'm curious to hear what ones these guys think.
Anything New
Base,
York,
yeah. I'm
1920s, 1930s.
It is actually. I was aiming for Prohibition.
Yeah, Prohibition. Al Capone era.
Yeah.
It sounded Al Capone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I will forewarn you, as an actor, my big weak points is accents. I cannot do accents to save my life. So when I do an accent, I kind of do a Hail Mary and just hope it sounds roughly the same. So, yeah. So, good call. I did notice, I saw 1920s, I thought, hey, it doesn't suck! Because they can kind of tell. So, anyway. Any others?
No, you're back in.
But I don't want to. Yes, I do. Of course I do. But so back in. Moses, you've been dropped off not too far away from one of the entrances to the warrens.
when I step off the motorcycle, I just, start undoing my helmet and walk into a place that there are shadows, so I can hand it over to her, and then immediately just jump in and say, I don't know how long he's gonna give me there, so I'll call you as soon as I have signal, okay? And then I'll meet you wherever you are.
She hooks her arm through the visor area of the helmet, grips you on the shoulder, and then begins gunning the engine, and then just starts driving.
Do I see is there people around?
I mean, there's people moving back and forth.
Okay. I just get close to her and I just put my forehead to hers without making it too cheesy or corny. Just talk to you later, bye. And then back into my shadows. And walk all the way to the entrance of the Warrens, the place where I usually meet Carrion. So I'll just start walking. Maybe at a brisk pace. I want this to get over with. Oh, if I have enough signal still, I call Benjamin again. Answer my call. Bzzzt. Or at least return it.
Am I driving a car?
Yeah.
If I'm driving a car, I'm not going to answer the phone. But
I will have Lucy or answer it. God, be angry. No, don't worry. No one answers your phone.
Text me when you read this. Send. And text to Katya.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there, girl. I need to talk to you again. This might interest you. Need to confirm with you something within the next 48 hours. Let me know when you're available.
Okay. You go to the same meeting point, the same old train carriage that you used to meet Carrion in.
Mm-hmm.
She's not there.
Is there anyone guarding the breeding pool? Is Maurice, as usual, guarding the breeding pool or not?
If he is, you can't see him.
Is anyone guarding the...
You know there are people here.
Yeah,
you know they can't be seen. The Nosferatu and the Warren very rarely are seen.
Is there anyone guarding the actual entrance to the Warren?
You're certain there is, but again, you can't see them.
I walk all the way into the actual entrance to the Warrens, like Plucky's Warrens, and go like, boss called me, which way? Down the cave in the little waterfall or down the breeding pool?
No need to go hunting for me, Moses. I'm already here.
Oh, hi there, boss. Sorry. And I start like looking around until I see him. Does he have a shovel in his hand?
He does.
Shit.
But both the shovel and his right hand side are burnt.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm peachy, Moses. Fucking walk with me.
Sure.
And he begins walking. And he pauses and look back. Pustule. Anyone comes in, bring them to me in torpor. Or dead if they're human. No one. Save clan. He begins walking.
Which way? Are we going down?
Yeah, you're descending.
Oh shit. Okay.
Very sharp descents.
Are we going past the last place where I saw Goldilocks last?
Yeah.
Okay, this is not boding well. Okay.
So you continue to go lower and lower.
Mm-hmm.
And then you finally get to the place where the kennels are kept. And there are very few cages which are not full now. There are new food sources in each of these kennels. And you can hear them whining and barking. And I use these descriptors generously because these aren't all animals. But you can scarcely tell what they are anymore. But they are all making noise, spurred on by the sounds of your approach. But Plucky Jakes ignores them, walks on past, leads on down the corridor towards a small stunted grotto. And it's literally just a small gathering of very cold, very black water, with stones lining the edge. And as you move past, he moves over towards one of the other stones and hits it with his hand. And there's a crack from the impact, but it shifts the stone slightly in front. And then he goes over towards the other stone, his shovel swinging at his side, and then he sits down. Take a seat.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to assume, but did Alexander escape / was rescued? Were you attacked Is he still captive?
No, Alexander's gone, but that's not why you're here.
Gone as in...
Parting gift.
Oh. Okay.
But again, that's not why you're here.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you something very honestly, Moses.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect equal honesty in the answer. In this little diagram of loyalties you have, where would you rank clan?
Above coterie? Above Camarilla? I think tied with Jacqueline. Just Jacqueline.
You being honest or lying?
I'm being honest. Like, of course, there are other stuff up or down or sideways, but...
And let me ask you a
with
question. Let me ask you a question. What if your clan and the Constable came to odds?
I will try to get the hell away from that problem.
What if you couldn't? What if you had to pick a side?
Shit. I will try to figure out why the problem is and then pick a side. I don't think I would pick a side right now. If it's because the clan...
What if you had to, Moses? Stop dancing around the fucking issue.
Well, if it's because the constable fucked up, I go with clan. But if it's because the clan fucked up, I would go with the constable. That's the thing. I would go for whomever fucked up.
Good, then we can have this discussion and you can decide which one of us is fucked up.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because one way or another, Moses, I'm gonna have my answer before you leave this room.
Sure thing, yeah.
You're gonna get a call tonight from the constable. Or maybe from one of the other hounds. Summoning you for aid.
Okay.
You're gonna ignore that call. And you're gonna stay here with me.
Okay. May I know why?
Well, I suppose since I'm gonna be getting my, either fuck you to my face, or your pledge of loyalty, I suppose I can go that far. What's your opinion of Prince Emrys?
Ugh, a little over the top. Fucking scary, though. I saw him slice through lupines.
Yeah, we all know he's powerful. He's old. Of course he's powerful. Comes with the territory. What's your opinion of him as the guy in praxis? The guy in control of London. The guy responsible for our communal well-being.
Well, I think he...
We're on our fucking own. Why do you think I come down here? This is mine. Anyone else comes down here, I put fucking Shovelly Joe up their ass.
Okay, I think he's only prince because he's the most powerful. Not because he's the most competent or the most qualified or the one that can actually do something useful. He's not the most pragmatic. Like, I don't care if you are really, really, really old and really, really, really pragmatic. Make it work. Like, the guy isn't. He's just the most powerful. Yeah, granted, he knows how to rule. Everybody's walking online. But I think it's more through fear than through actual smarts. I might be wrong, but I don't know anything about
You're not
politics.
wrong.
Okay.
He predates Londinium. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Predates the fucking Roman Empire. I don't know if you know that, but now you do. He's old. But it's by that age that he is ruling. Not because he's fucking efficient, not because he's capable. And at a time where brute strength and the ability to just smack the people below us and make everything the way we wanted it, back then, that was great. When you go out amongst the kind, Moses, because you go out amongst the kind almost more than any of us, what do you see?
Well, it's changed.
How?
In many ways, like no longer the rule of the strong. Strength is totally different now.
No, I don't mean like the philosophical bullshit. What have they all got, Moses, that's changing things?
Fucking technology.
Exactly. Technology.
Like, I'm taking advantage of it, but I have to keep up.
Yes. Because we adapt. That's how we survive. But what has the most recent clusterfuck of episodes this year alone shown us?
If you're talking about the explosions and shit, it's about taking advantage of the lack of communications.
Just to clarify, by the way, the coffin's in character. I'm not, like, killing myself.
Actually, that's a good question. Why would this Sabbat attack now after all of those years? Pretty much nothing has changed.
Good questions.
Are you okay?
No, I got set fire to. It doesn't exactly go in with my insurance. My point is, Moses, what did he do?
Nothing I had visibility of.
That fucker's gonna suffer if I find him again.
The constable fought. I fucking clawed my way through somebody. I don't even know who I munched on. The prince was not present, and he was not in any other places. I think he declared blood hunt. That's as far as he took it.
Do you want to know what he did?
Yes, please.
Sat back and let more experienced, more intelligent and capable kindred handle the situation. I.e., the Primogen Council.
So he delegated.
Delegated. Do you know who else could have done that?
Anybody.
Anyone. Fuck me, that hurt. My point is, the world's changing. Emrys isn't.
Okay, if he's not fit to rule, then who? And also, why would I be called by the constable tonight?
What do you know about Edmund?
Yes.
What do you know
What
about
do I
Edmund?
know about Edmund Sinclair? Okay, I'll tell you what I know, and then I'll tell you what I suspect.
Whatever. Just give me a fucking break from having to talk.
Okay. So, Edmund. Apparently he was important during something with the Sabbat. I have no idea, I don't have the details. But apparently he was important during the attack on the Blitz and all that thing. But I do know that he has changed. The Edmund I knew when our coterie was first set up and the Edmund that is now, they're different. Now my suspicion is that there was something weird in the blood he drank. That remember when I told you about the guy he drank from the apparently very awful creature? Benjamin sort of couldn't describe it. It was this fucking creature, impossible to describe, beautiful and horrible, and okay. I think he's like a junkie right now with an addiction. Or something like that. What scares me is my latest conversations with Benjamin. He is convinced that Edmund is no more. That Edmund died. And whomever is the Malkavian Primogen right now, he's just wearing an Edmund suit.
He's not the only one that thinks that. But more on that later.
For reals?
What else do you know?
He's the one who captured Alexander and killed the 3 Nosferatus that killed Foggy and put me into torpor. But only after he changed. Only after the attack on the Sabbat, and only after that night Benjamin keeps on trying to describe the creature he saw. You say Alexander is dead, gone, final death, no more.
I didn't say that. I said he's gone. Set me on fucking fire.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
No, gone. Vamoose.
Yes. He escaped, or was escaped. What if he is a traitor? What if he has been a mole for all these decades of the Sabbat?
I'm about to answer your question before we go off on a tangent. Do you know anything else for certain about Edmund? Just so I know how much ground I need to cover. Because this fucking hurts. Yeah, and as he pulls back, you can see the scorches go all the way around.
Okay. He gave Benjamin his gallery. I don't know how he got it, but that was Michael Chase's gallery, and he fought the Sabbath in the Bliss, and I have no idea. And he was the Blood Eagle killer.
Right, you done?
Yeah, that's all I know.
Right. My next question. How much do you know about Sabine?
Sabine Week, Primogen of the Tremere right now. Good friend of Katya. Acquaintance of Edmund. I mean, I think because of that acquaintance and that they knew each other, I believe, is why Benjamin was hanging out with her and Katya for a while, and they became sort of, I'm not gonna say friends, but she's kind of scary, but actually cares about Katya. Like, she actually cares about, like, a sire. I don't know. I know very little about the woman. Very little. But I think she was with Edmund during the Blitz. I think Katya mentioned something like that.
Because it's important for me to know where you stand in what's coming.
What's coming?
Shut the fuck up, Moses. I'm about to tell you. It's important for me to know. So I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to be honest. More honest than I've been with any of my wives.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
My point is, you might not like what I'm about to say. But understand this, Moses. You haven't got much of a choice anymore. Sabine Wick. Emrys is old. He is powerful. He has lived for thousands of years. Held London that entire time. But he comes nowhere near scaring me as much as Sabine Wick. Meanwhile.
Okay.
No, you pause that, you greedy son of a bitch. My throat.
The cliffhangers are for them, not for me. I'm like, ah.
So, Benjamin.
Hello.
You've been driving. Where are you going to pull up? They haven't given you any directions.
I guess the nearest safest place to stop, if they haven't.
Outside or inside of London?
I mean, if I've obviously I've put some distance between me and the caravan, I guess somewhere nearby, not necessarily inside of London. In fact, being Benjamin, I'll probably say, where do you want to go now?
It's entirely up to you. This is a discussion we can have wherever you go.
Right.
Although I'd recommend somewhere where we can get out of the car and She doesn't look too bemused, although it's hard to tell in the non-existent reflection.
I'll take us back to my flat then.
So you continue driving back towards your flat. And when you get there and you open it, there is a almost incessantly unbemused
I'll feed Fagin.
as Fagin is fed. Lucita hangs over by the sofa and begins reclining herself there. She says nothing, but again she's observing the room. And again she's keeping an eye on you, and again she says nothing. Anatoly goes in and immediately vanishes into the bathroom. You can hear something, you're not quite sure what he's doing, but then he comes back out a moment later, his hands having been washed.
Okay.
You've been seeing a lot of things. And you have for a while. I mean, within the context of your existence.
Yes.
What was the first thing you saw?
First thing I saw. Do you mean after I became like this?
Yeah, I don't mean like, you know. I mean in here. You know, where... Ignore the filters.
Well, the first thing I saw came out in my art.
So what did you see in the art?
Well, I suppose it depends on whose art you mean, but the art that the first art that I drew, which I'd forgotten about actually, but Amelia showed me, was a building. Well, it was a piece that changed over time, and by the end, there were people suffering in that picture.
What else?
Well, often someone appears in my paintings, whether I want them to or not. And sometimes they appear and they're not in my paintings, they're just out there, somewhere.
So the reflection then?
I think so.
Well, you can't see inside, so you're seeing outside. You're seeing what you would see if you looked inwards.
Well,
Which right now would be Simon. Because you're wearing Benjamin.
it's all a bit muddled at the moment. I used to...
Why is it muddled?
Bec-
You wear one or the other.
But it's not like a switch. It's not like a...
It's exactly like a switch. You just need to know how to flick it.
I don't know how to flick it.
But you'll learn. You
But-
did in the caravan.
Well, the caravan was strange because it's only because of Simon that I knew how... It's because of him that I knew her. Does that make sense? She's like him. She's just... No, she's like him. She's just like him.
The other bits that you've seen.
Yes.
Give me another example.
Well, there was the vision I saw of the sky turning red and everyone being on fire. There was the time I saw you washing Jim's feet after he'd met Final Death. There was the time I saw... sometimes I'd see someone in their... and it wasn't like they were... I couldn't put a face on them. It was like they had lots of voices, but I could understand it as one voice. And I saw them in the church with the constable, but they said very irreligious things. And sometimes I see Amelia, sometimes I see...
No. I don't mean our father. I mean, what have you seen?
What? Sorry, what have I seen?
I don't mean Malkav. What have you seen? You saw the suffering.
Yes.
Saw the burning.
Yes. People on fire, and suffering, and the sky changing, and I saw. I mean that. Once I saw a different thing, but it didn't happen. But I think it didn't happen because I saw it. Does that make sense? We were in these tunnels, and there was this thing. It was like a monster, like a. I drew it once actually. I can't.
Rassilus.
I don't know what it's called. No one believed me.
Well, that was its name.
Oh, yeah. You know? Did you see it too?
I've never seen a Niktoku, but I know it is there.
So, I saw it, and I saw it kill everybody, and it was awful. And so I told us to go a different way, and then we didn't meet it. But of course, from as far as they were concerned, maybe I just made it up. That's what everyone said. I tried to tell them.
But what you saw showed you what you should do.
Yes, it showed
because it was true.
Yes, it was true. It's
so every time you've seen something.
Yes.
Veil's gone. And truth.
Yes.
Okay, so if that's what you've seen in this, what have you seen in them? And he points towards the pictures on the wall.
Are they the ones that Amelia showed me? Well, that things get worse, and then people on fire, and once I had this when I saw things on fire, not in the paintings. There was one person not on fire, and so I keep thinking maybe he'll be okay. Oh, and this, and I'll go to one of the paintings. You see this old lady here? I think that's Mrs. Morovsky. She used to run the bed and breakfast where we slept, and it was only after I saw her body that I realised that this was probably her. That this painting was probably the place where we used to be. But obviously, I wasn't there when it happened. Is that what you mean?
What I mean is, whenever you've seen one of these things,
yes,
there's an element of truth in it.
Yes, and sometimes I don't.
Every time?
I think so. I don't
then you'll
know.
understand what I'm about to put to you.
All right.
What do you know about Gehenna?
I don't even know what it is. Is it a name?
It's so many different things. It's a future.
Right.
Were you a religious man?
Not really.
But you know the basics of a religion.
Yes.
And what's the universal end in all the books of religion?
Well, normally, I suppose everything comes to an end, and the people who, if you like, have led good.
There's always an end.
Yes, there's always a final end of days, and normally not very pleasant, unless, of course, you've been, dutiful and religious, and then probably.
I'm going to hunt. Lucita gets up and turns and starts marching towards the door. Lucita moves, waits for her to go. End times.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the Book of Nod?
Not really.
Think of it like a kindred Bible.
Oh, yes, because some of us are quite religious.
There's religion, and then there's true past, present, future.
Yes, all right.
And the world will come to an end. It's Not the ending that everyone thinks it's going to be. But it will be an ending. And it will be bloody. It will be terrible. You've seen the barest of glimpses of something.
Yes.
And if you've seen this, just like you've seen other things,
Yes.
what's to say there's not an element of truth?
I don't doubt what I saw. I just don't know what to do about it.
This is why I'm here. In the nights to come, me, Lucita, Beckett, we have things to do.
All right.
I'd like for you to be a part of that.
Well, if there's something I can,
Stop choking, Fagin.
if there's something I can do to help you, I.
Broke a Carlos.
Oh no.
I want you to be part of. I was in the middle of.
I'll time it next time. Shut up.
Fagin has a furball. Fagin has a furball.
Sorry.
Because you do play a part. Which part you played depended on the choice you made. And all the choices you've made to a degree, but the...
Right. Well,
but you can't do that if you're dead.
no, I'd very much like to avoid being dead. I mean, for as long as possible, anyway.
So I'm here to take you.
All right. Where are we going?
Away from London.
Oh. Well.
Meow.
Yeah.
Will we be going for a long time?
By the time there's a chance for you to come back to London, London won't be safe for us.
All right.
This isn't happening now. We have some time.
Well, it's strange because if you'd asked me a few nights ago, I would have been quite torn. Am I allowed to bring anyone with me? Or anything with me? I don't really know.
I can't promise they'll survive what we're doing. But the company would be nice.
Right.
Lucita doesn't really talk that much, and
Well, I'm capable of talking quite a lot if you like conversation.
I know. You know, when you're Benjamin.
Yes.
So, yeah. We have some time yet. And there's a few things that I want to see done before I go.
Yes. Well, I have the sense that there are lots of things going on, and many of them feel very much above me.
Oh, massively.
And you seem to have some kind of insight into what's going on.
Wow.
And I don't know. I feel like that perhaps if I feel like I don't know what the questions are to ask. Does that make sense? But I feel like probably you seem quite knowledgeable and you seem quite friendly, which is actually quite rare for people who I don't know coming to visit. So
Sorry. I mean, in terms of knowing things, I know very little by comparison to what I'd like to know. And the things I do know, I'm not aware I know until I know them. That makes sense. In terms of nice,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of people that wouldn't agree.
Well,
I mean, if I really, 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 really listen, I might probably hear them now, but they're quiet.
I suppose you can't please everyone.
Oh, I didn't please them, but it was necessary.
Well, I don't understand how you know about Simon. I don't even know about Simon myself most of the time.
Because I know what part you play. I know what part he plays.
Can you? I don't know. Can you help me?
I can try. But probably not. But
Well. Thank you. It's very strange because most of the time, I don't even understand. But then sometimes I hear them talking about him, and then it all gets. You were talking about a switch. It's like the switch is stuck halfway. I feel like that at the moment. I feel like it's stuck halfway. I'm not really anything. Most of the time, it feels very tenuous. Like I can slip, and I feel like I'm holding on to where I am right now, but I'm not holding on very well. And sometimes I don't know if that's good or bad because you know, there's a lot of bad things happening, and I'm not really very good at dealing with bad things happening, and the things I'm trying to make better just have been destroyed.
I miss a time when I was like that. Worrying about the little things. I mean,
well, to be honest, I try to worry about everything a little bit, but I do sort of. Well, I suppose I do often think about myself, if I'm honest. But you know,
it's not a bad thing. It's an enviable thing. But if it makes you feel any better, this stuff is not going to be much of a concern to you in a couple of years.
I don't know. You have this way of making it seem like I'll have some kind of nostalgic view of this time, which frankly terrifies me. But all right. So what now? What now? Do you?
I have some things I need to do in the city, which is why I've asked Lucita to come with me, because they're not going to be easy and they're not going to be quick.
Right. And other things that you...
No. I just needed to make sure you knew what needed to happen, so that once it's done, you're ready.
And what constitutes being ready? What do I need to have packed a bag? Are there things I need to get? What does ready mean?
This will be the first time in your own life you can answer those questions yourself, because only you know what to bring.
Really? And when will I know what to bring?
Let's begin with some washables. Start there.
Yes, all right.
And we'll go from there.
Fine. I can... washables I can do. Can I... This might sound a strange question, but should I find Fagin a new home, or can he come with us?
Meow. Sorry.
Well...
I know that might sound like a silly question. It's just, he's one of the last...
I mean, we won't get much sustenance from a cat, so I suppose it's safe.
Oh yes, no, I don't want people eating Fagin. I can find him a home if need be. I don't know.
Probably safer, although not in London.
Oh.
Actually, depends on where you leave him in London.
Do you have I don't know, an address in mind?
No.
Right. All right. Well, if it's a case of, leaving him in a random place in London where he may or may not be set on fire, then I'll probably bring him with us if that's all right. Right. Okay. And this is all really going to happen. Right.
You have time. It's not much of it.
Right. All right. Understood. Right. So, did you want to wait here until she comes back?
No, I'd better go and catch up to her.
Are you sure? Because there was that very strange man trying to find you.
What man? I'll call you.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Oh, better.
It's probably around this time that I realise there's a text on my phone
Yep.
from Moses, so I will text him back. But I appreciate
Okay.
you don't want a cutscene. But
Now.
What was in the text?
Text me when you see this.
Okay.
So, because I knew I was going to the Warrens, a call is useless, but a text pops in the moment I get signal, so.
Okay.
Text me when you see this, I'll reply as soon as possible, something along those lines.
Okay. So, I apologise as a delay in going back to you. But, well, actually, you have to remind me because it's one of the times where my notes are not all together. Has Sarah met Alice?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
They have not met. Because by the time
Then you would not recognise her coming in.
by the time Sarah was introduced to me, Alice had already gone to the
Okay.
Warrens in Reading. So they were not even in the same city at the same time.
Okay. So. Cough again, feline.
Okay. Joseph Wig scares you
Yeah.
because of the booga booga.
No. Because she is everything that I would want. Wrong choice of word. That I would expect Emrys to be.
So pragmatic, cunning, political minded, proactive, dangerous.
Edmund St. Clair. Regardless of what the truth was behind who he was then, what he is now. He's involved with the Sabbat. And we know that. We know it.
So he's involved with this bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He could have been like a mole or something
What
like
we
that.
don't know, though Sabine suspects, it's not even Edmund anymore. Certain things that got whispered in her ears made her think that Edmund might just be this Hoogadaboo Sabbat leader.
Vehement.
That fucker. Don't know for certain, but all we know is that since he's come back, since your friend went crazy, or
This vehement. You mentioned you had it on the red list. Is there like a physical description of the guy?
it depends on when. Them it was a Zibacy. Those fuckers can change their appearance.
Only their appearances?
What else would you change?
Other people's appearances.
Well, I assume so, yeah.
Oh, fuck. The Nosferatu heads. Could those be manufactured?
Probably.
Oh, fuck.
Now you're starting to get a bigger view of why this is a fucking issue.
So then why wouldn't I answer the call of the
I'm
constable?
fucking getting there, Moses.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
You make me cough even more than this, Moses. Rusty Joe is going to be sitting sideways up your asshole. And then you'll be sitting back down on that rock. Ugh, bloody phlegm. We know he's in league. We know that he doesn't like Emrys. I mean, who would? Sabat certainly don't. But he's always been too difficult to take in an outright, even ground physical confrontation. But do you know what this vehement or Edmund is? Strong as he is, it's predictable. Short-sighted. It's how Edmund got him in the first place. The vehement fucker. How do you think he got on to the Primogen Council?
Edmund. Well, oh. Michael Colbert survived the Sabat attack, right? But then he disappeared. Edward Colbert.
How do you reckon he got on to the Primogen Council?
Yeah, I mean, if
Oh, we already know he killed Edward Colbert. But how do you reckon he got on to the Primogen Council?
I don't know how it works. Do
you reckon anybody would socialize with him enough to get him elected onto that council?
Exactly. Do you do the thing that someone has to like cast your name in or say hey you, or is it that like inside the clan, because Sabine is the only one who would have had any contact with him.
Sabine put him on the council.
Oh. To have him close, or
to make that dangling delicious rope just a little bit closer. You see, the only thing that Sabine has been waiting for to give that asshole a little bit of a push is the high ground. Something which has been provided. Do you ever wonder why we didn't attend the gallery?
Well, I would assume that the information you had was relating to something similar. Like, I know there was chatter, and you mentioned it.
Sabine told me there was going to be an attack.
How would she know?
Because she heard about it.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Oh, trust me, if you think she's a bat, you're looking at this the wrong fucking way. There was a reason for that attack.
Were they targeting
certain people?
So the 3 attacks were... The other 2 were somewhat...
branched out from the place where very slowly the Sabat have been locating themselves.
Yeah.
Place your friend is going to know very well. How is that new gallery?
It was a gift from Edmund.
Found the catacombs yet? Oh yeah, we know they're there.
I have no idea that he had catacombs there.
No. But they're there.
Are they filled?
Oh yeah. They won't be after tonight.
Okay.
Tonight, the location of the Prince's Haven has been discovered and passed along to Edmund.
Okay.
And we know that Edmund's got a sizable force of kindred, Sabbat kindred, that he can call on.
Okay.
They are going to try and take him out close to sunrise, where he can't flee. And he has no idea that anyone knows where he sleeps. But neither me nor Sabine reckon that this will be successful.
Okay.
How long has Sabine been involved with your coterie?
For quite a while. Directly, actually, since before the attack on the gallery, she actually attended the gallery together with Katya. They've been close ever since I've met Katya.
It's always been interesting and important to Sabine for you all to be where you are.
Any reason in particular?
Who do you think recommended the Crossed Hands as your location to start out?
Why would she do that?
What's nice and juicy in that area?
The mage that's on the south?
Bingo. Specifically, an exiled mage.
I don't know how they work, but that guy did sound a bit off the reservation.
What's another important thing that she had her hands in?
Many things.
Who?
Katya was...
How?
Friends?
How?
I have no idea.
Think. What's one little thing that's occurred?
Oh, Will?
Will. What happened to Will?
Embraced by Oliver, forcefully for all I hear.
Before that?
She got stabbed and then sent to the hospital.
Before that?
Was she... Oh. She was tortured.
Who do you think put out the idea in Oliver's head?
You're kidding.
Do I look like I'm fucking kidding, Moses?
Wow, that woman is scary.
She needed Katya. Someone that is under the thumb of her sire. Sabine. It wouldn't surprise me if she had her fingers in everything that's gone on.
So...
She is a relatively weak kindred by comparison to others that's on the Primogen Council.
Yeah, and she got the upper hand on Oliver.
Why do you think she's on the Primogen Council? Why do you think the others have let her?
She has demonstrated to be more competent than
No.
the alternative.
You're a monster that likes the power you have. Who do you want sat across that table from you?
Oh, well, someone tame.
Someone tame. Someone weak.
Hang on. She might come across as weak. But she's now also the oh, what's the word? Katya used it. Regent?
When the other one went missing.
It's okay. So now what I think is like she's not as weak, or she's projecting that image.
Put this down for you, Moses. She's not weak. She's not stupid. She's smart. She's cunning. And she's fucking deadly.
Oh, shit.
She's where she wants to be. Because that's where she needs to be. They're not gonna allow a Tremere on the council if they appear in any way threatening.
Yeah, well...
So answer me this. If that's the mindset they're willing to go with, what happens when a weakened Emrys is met by Sabine, her Magos friend, and a very, very pissed off bunch of anarchs?
Oh, okay.
He might survive one. I'm willing to bet he won't survive twice. Now let me paint a second picture for you. What happens when Emrys is out of the picture?
It's a bloodbath. Free for all. Someone will try to stay on.
So who will go on top?
Oh. Elizabeth Addington might want to do something being the venture premier. I have no idea how strong she is politically or physically.
You're in a fragile time. Nobody wants the responsibility, no one wants the clusterfuck that comes with the current situation. It's not just Sabat you're looking at. It's Masquerade breaches. Werewolves, from the fucking sounds of what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
You've got a council of old monsters. Every single one of them knows that if they thrust for that position, everyone's going to be gunning for them. It's going to be contested.
Yeah.
So who are you going to pick to put in as a placeholder? Someone that you can put your fingers over and control.
The weakest.
The weakest. Only she's not the weakest. Is she?
No. So when I'm called tonight, is it to help the prince against either of these attacks? Or is it something different?
There's only one prince. And as much of an asshole as he is, he's powerful. But he's not infallible. When he realizes that they found out where he is, he's going to place a call. We don't yet know where the constable sits. In theory, she might run to him. And that's why the loyalty is an issue. But the Tremere have also been working on a bit of a liberation for her. Ever wondered why such a distinguished French saint would work for an Englishman?
No idea.
She's bound at the wazoo. We're talking fucked in the head. She hates Emrys. But she has no control over what she does. So what happens when you take that leash and that muzzle off?
She might very well be the one who killed him.
So, this little spell they've been preparing, whatever it involves, will happen tonight.
And all I have to do is be unavailable to avoid her rage.
It's not her rage. Emrys is no walkover. There's no guarantee this will work. Depending on how far this little assault goes, I don't want my clan in the crosshairs of a pissed off Emrys.
Okay.
But I'm not worried about Emrys. I'm worried about Sabine. But the fact of the matter is, we ain't gonna survive if we have someone in charge that won't adapt. And eventually, the Anarchs are gonna get uppity. They ain't gonna stand with the status quo. The Sabat aren't gonna stop. Not with Edmund. Edmund? Fucking hell. That's the slip. Sorry. Edmund. Damn it. London ain't what it used to be. It used to be that everything was the same from night to night.
Until it isn't.
Until someone changes that. Everyone loves Sabine because they think that she's not a threat. I learned very early on this year that that's not the case.
So what's she gonna be doing tonight?
I don't know. Most of what I've told you is from what I've been able to deduce myself. But she's well aware that I know this. It's not like I'm letting you in on a secret she knows nothing about. I've had to pick a side, Moses. Choice is, are you a Kami before you were a Nosferatu?
Oh no, I'm before an Nosferatu.
Then let me ask you a question. This one's harder. If the constable is with Emrys, you've got two opposing loyalties.
No, I don't. Because the constable would be with Emrys against her will. The one fucking up here is Emrys. I cannot side with Jacqueline now that I know this. Even though I respect her, and I'm still loyal to her, my loyalty is true. Just as my loyalty to you is true. But in the hierarchy, she's gonna be receiving orders from her domitor, not her prince, not her friend. She's a thrall. As much as I respect her, I don't think I'm gonna answer that call. Actually, I'm more likely to be on the sidelines trying to get a good look at the show. By the way, can that be done?
No.
Shit. Can I leave the warrens tonight?
If you leave these warrens, you're gonna be followed. You're gonna be watched.
Oh, no. It's just enough to get
It's happening,
signal.
Moses.
It's just to get signal. Lisa Ketting asked me to get...
Well, then there's no issue, is there? You
Yeah.
won't mind some people paying attention.
Cool.
Anyone that leaves these warrens is being watched by people that I know.
Cool.
I can trust.
I'm staying here. Let me do a couple of phone calls to get Benjamin to pick up somebody and maybe just sit with Pearl and hook my laptop. I think I'm more useful to you if I'm on a terminal tonight.
As long as you're happy with my smiling face in the monitor box on that terminal, that's fine by me.
Yeah, sure.
I hope it doesn't need to be said, Moses, because, despite the whole jaw incident, I reckon you're a pretty okay guy, and your fucking dance moves, top-notch. However, if I so much as suspect you're gonna backstab me on this, I'll rip you limb from limb myself.
No need.
I'm sure there's no need.
I got a lot more to lose by siding in the wrong place in this one.
It's a matter of survival.
Yeah. You can trust I'm gonna go with the one that gets me saved. By the way, whomever is keeping tally of the boons now, Lisa Ketting knows me a major one.
What for?
Have to bodyguard, babysit her newest fledgling.
One new fledgling.
Sarah Matthews.
Right.
Fledgling's new in town. My coterie has a space.
You'll want to report after this shit is done.
Yeah, sure. But in order for me to report on that, I'll have to...
You can go above ground, but you're being watched.
Ah, okay, cool.
By the way, Moses,
Mm-hmm.
you try and slip people that are watching you, I'll just assume.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make me come to assumptions.
It's okay.
Get the fuck out of my grotto.
Grab my stuff and fucking run. Need to get out of like as soon as possible, so to a place where I can get signal.
Okay.
Do I get a message?
Well, you get a text message
Say.
saying, "I'm available now."
Immediately call.
Bzzzt. Still in the warrants at this point.
Yeah, going out to get as better a reception as possible as I make my way out of the warrens.
Hello?
This is Moses. Benjamin.
Yes.
Hi there. Are you busy?
No.
Because I have a favor to ask.
All right.
Well, actually, someone asked me a favor, and it might include you. I need to talk to you about it.
All right.
To see if you agree or not.
All right.
But the heart of the matter is, Sarah is at Elysium, in asylum.
All right.
Could you please pick her up and give her a place to stay for tonight? I am attending clan business and I'm underground now.
Yes. Yes, I can do that.
I need to talk to you and Katya about this in person, but someone would be very, very thankful to us if we take care of Sarah.
Oh, it's fine. I'll pick her up. You can tell me when will you be there to speak to me?
If not later tonight, tomorrow at some point.
And are you somewhere safe?
I'm underground, yeah.
Good. Yes, there are lots of things we should probably talk about soon.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Yes. Yes. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Like, I'm thinking to myself for the first time, I'm scared because I know that shit's gonna happen in the surface. I'm scared for him. I check if I have any texts from Katya.
Okay. No.
Text her again.
Okay, saying what?
Pretty much more of the same. Hey, it's kind of urgent that we sort out when we're gonna meet for this. The coterie needs to come to an agreement on an important issue that I think you will find interesting. And probably very appealing. Message me when you have the chance. Immediately text Alice. Mm-hmm. Whereabouts are you now? And wait while I walk. And text Susan. Did you make it okay? Is Lucy asleep?
Okay. Alright.
And and I need to talk to so many people in person now. And I don't have the smiling man's phone number. I would like to hack his house. Okay,
I will break the ST barrier now and say, be careful.
Oh, no.
My reputation for being an asshole is already so high. I don't want more. Don't give me a reason to.
I think the only thing I'm going to be doing until I'm going to try to get out of the warrens on my
Stealth?
own. Sorry?
Without being followed.
No.
Okay.
I'm actually, before I leave the warrens, is that at some point I'm going to get into either public transportation or on a motorcycle or something. So if you're going to follow me, I'm going to screen the place I'm going so you can follow me there. Okay? Bye. Like
Plucky Jake's back there. I told him he was going to be followed.
And I'm talking to myself like an idiot. No, I'm genuinely not interested in the slightest, because actually, stupidly enough, but that's a typical signature, like Moses' signature move. I am seeing all the merits of delivering Sabine Wick to the smiling man instead of my friend Katya. The problem is that now she's even more terrifying than she was before. So I was going like, how on earth am I gonna be able to grab Sabine and deliver her to the Smiling Man?
Well, you have a think about that.
I'll write you a note.
Okay. So, the message you would have received, Benjamin.
Yeah, well, I had the chat with Moses, so I will then give... Actually, no, I won't give Fagin a fuss. Exactly, Fagin. And I'm going to make my way to where I believe Sarah is. Like a good little coterie member.
Okay. You make your way straight towards Asylum, and in the amount of time that you've been there waiting, it has not gotten any busier. It is quiet by comparison. But there are a lot of individuals around that make you feel uncomfortable. You know these are kindred. You know that. Now that you are one of them, and now that you've been spending more and more time in the company of them, you're starting to notice little things. And, like the youngest wolf in a pack of very brutal, bloodthirsty wolves, you're keeping as small as you can in the limited space available to try and limit exposure. Until Benjamin walks through the door.
Ta-da!
Like a shining beacon of bundle of loveness.
So I'm assuming, obviously I recognise Sarah,
Yes, you would.
so I will make my way over. Hello there. I'm Benjamin Green, and I was asked to come and speak to you by Moses. Does this make any sense to you? You look a little confused. It's all right, because being confused is entirely fine. It's appropriate even in this circumstance. But does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Good. All right. I am going to assume from what he said that you need a place to stay. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything you need to pick up, or?
No.
Right. Well, would you like to come with me then? And I'll take us somewhere. I'll glance around, a little less crowded.
Yep.
Okay. The upstairs area is pretty vacant. Most people are down on the dance floor, drunkenly dancing to the little music that is on. There's no live band, it's all recorded at this point.
What kind of music is playing?
The thuddy kind, the kind that makes you go,
Let's go to my car.
Yeah, so you head towards your car.
I'll say. And yeah, I'll take Sarah to my car, which is a very sensible looking. So yeah, it's a pretty sedate looking family car, which I will. Okay. Do you get in the passenger seat or do you get in the back?
Passenger seat. And look in the back very warily.
So that's a very good instinct. I'll do up my seatbelt. Wait for a moment. Has Sarah put her seatbelt on?
Yeah, she didn't see what's around.
Oh, fine. In that case, social combat risk over. I will start the car and start to drive towards the flat. But obviously on the way, I will talk a little bit. This must be a difficult time for you. I've got to be honest. I don't know a great deal about what has gone on, but I can make some fairly educated guesses. So I'll glance at her. Obviously, like mapping Jim's feature slightly over hers. I'm not getting any hunger signs, I'm assuming. So do you have any idea who I am, by the way?
No.
Right, all right. Well, I should probably explain then, because you might be feeling a little awkward. And I imagine you've met a great deal of very sinister people lately. So I should warn you that, well, if you're going to be staying with me for any length of time, that may not end, because sometimes I have visitors, and I can't always predict who they're going to be. So anyway, I probably shouldn't have led with that. I'm Benjamin, and I haven't been doing this that much longer than you, but long enough to know a lot of the, if you have questions, I suppose is what I'm saying, because I have the suspicion that, well, that the person that put you in this situation didn't stick around to give you any good answers. I'm sorry about that. You didn't deserve what happened to you. Well, if this helps you, relax a little bit. I knew your brother, and I understand that things were a little bit stormy between you at times, but I wanted to tell you that I made him a promise, and I thought I couldn't keep that promise, but now that you're here, it seems that I can, and that is obviously that he asked me to make sure you were all right. Now, I can't say I'm going to promise to make you all right, because things really aren't all right in any sense. I mean, not even slightly. What I am saying, probably not very well, is that I'm going to try and make things a little easier for you if I can. Does that make sense? I know that, well, I don't want to make any assumptions, but I know that he may not have been the ideal brother, but he did care about you a great deal, and he, even when it wasn't in his power to look after you or help you, he wanted to make sure there would be at least somebody keeping an eye out for you. So I'm saying, unfortunately, in some ways for you, that's me, and I am going to do my best. That's what I'm saying. And you may have many questions, and if I can answer them, I will. And obviously, I can take you to a place that will at least be safe in the short term, and we can go from there. There's probably a lot of things I don't yet know that's going on, but at least it sounds like Moses has an interest in keeping you safe, and that's good because he knows a lot more than I do. Whew, goodness.
What happened to Jim?
Do you mean in a sort of general sense, or in a very specific kind of sense?
What happened to him?
Well, he lots of things happened to him, but I suppose the pertinent thing is that there are lots of very scary people who enforce very important rules, and he broke some of those rules. And,
why?
Well, I don't think he meant to break those rules, but this isn't that kind of... I don't know what you've been told about this life, but such as it is, but it's not exactly a fair one. So it's not like, I don't know, people... So in normal court, people might say, but why did you do that thing? And you can have a commuted sentence if you have good reason. And that's irrelevant here. If you break the rules, then you just get the punishment. And he broke some rules because, well, I don't think he had any choice really. But he caused a lot of damage and broke these rules, and then the people who are very scary enforced those rules and condemned him to I'm sorry, obviously this can't be easy for you to hear, but but he did things that made it likely that other people could find out that we exist.
Like what?
Like showing people that he wasn't human. Like being so. I don't know how much of this you want to hear, to be honest, but he wasn't in his right mind, and in that time when he wasn't in his right mind, he caused some damage, he hurt some people, he, not intentionally, but he was also seen with injuries that a person could not be walking if they had, and that meant that he had broken what we call the Masquerade. And if you break the Masquerade, you're destroyed. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. But I think he knew when it was coming, and that's when he asked me to look after you. I take it this probably isn't much consolation, but I feel you should know that his last thoughts, his last concerns, they were for you. And so at the risk of appearing insensitive, you'll see in the glove box there's some tissues. Can I ask that you hold them up to your eyes? It's just that, you see, technically, if you're seen to be doing that, that could be seen as a breach of the first tradition, and obviously we don't want that to happen. You're welcome, obviously, just to have your own time. But if there are other things you want to ask about or to know about, can I put in a small request? So you may experience feelings you're not used to experiencing, or at least feelings that are much more potent than normal. Specifically, you may experience the need to, you might feel a very acute and painful hunger. I don't know if you've come across that yet. You might experience feelings of anger and all kinds of things. If you feel like things are getting difficult, it's generally better, not in larger company, but in my company anyway, to let me know in advance. Because these things are normally easier to manage early. But when they take us over, they're very hard to manage. Does that make sense?
What was he like when around you and all this?
What was he like when I knew him?
Yeah.
Well, I think I understand him now actually a lot better than I used to. I think he was being brave, as best he could. I mean, putting a brave face on it. I think actually his situation wasn't much different to yours. He was rather dumped in the middle of everything without any real direction. But we didn't know that because he was pretending. He was trying to appear strong, and then, that meant that sometimes sometimes he made mistakes because he didn't know better, and because the monster that put him and you in this situation, abandoned him, really. And so...
He was always protective.
Yes, and also I think you see, I'm quite good at admitting when I don't know things, but he was quite bad at that, and whilst that meant sometimes that people wouldn't take me very seriously or they would mock me and things, sometimes it meant they would tell me what those things were, and then I wouldn't make the mistakes. Whereas he would try and work it out on the go sometimes. He would try and just figure it out on his own, and I think that's almost impossible. And I don't know how much like him you are, but I would implore you to ask or to seek help if you can. Because this is not a forgiving place. People might forgive a silly question. They won't forgive you making the mistake.
He was always a protector when I knew him. He would. That is what he.
That's how he styled himself. Yes.
He tried.
He. Oh yes.
After at the instant where when he faked his death, and that has to have happened.
He did fake his death. He showed me his gravestone. And I think he did all of that to protect, the people around him. He's quite keen I fake my own death, although I think that's actually going to be hugely irrelevant very soon, to be honest with you. I think the thing is that he did sometimes protect us, but also sometimes he needed protecting, and I don't think he was very good at asking for that protection.
No.
And I suppose what I'm saying is that for the time that you're with me, I will try. I can't promise to protect you from the scary monsters out there, but I can at least warn you about some of the things that he learnt the hard way. And, you may not like some of the answers I give you, I'm afraid.
I don't get him breaking the rules. He'd always follow the rules and even do things as quietly as possible.
Oh, really?
I know him.
Well, I think the thing is you have to understand is yes, it changes you. It can make you more. Sometimes it can make you more aggressive, or it can make you more scared, or it can make you. I think it's just.
But he had control most of the time?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes, but not all the time. All of us struggle to control ourselves. Honestly, it wasn't long ago that I lost control. Worse than I ever have. It's like a vigilance. You don't stop trying to keep these things in check.
He was always vigilant.
Well, yes, but he also. All right, let me give you my best piece of advice. Generally speaking, and I haven't always followed this myself to my own detriment. Generally speaking, being as cautious as you can, and looking after your appetite, keeping it in check all the time, is the way forward. There are things you can do that will make you hungry. I tell you what it's like. It's like if you do a lot of exercise, suddenly you get I'm very hungry, I need to eat. Well, it's like that with us now. Sometimes if you exert yourself too much, you become very hungry. And if you don't keep an eye on that hunger, then it will overwhelm you. And sometimes, because he was protecting us, Jim would put himself in situations where his body was in a state where, for it to work, he had to exert himself a lot. And even if sometimes we told him to slow it down, he would take the fastest route in a sort of admirable in some ways, but also rather bullish fashion to get to that place as quickly as possible, because he wanted to be on top form and strong. And what I'm saying to you is, if you feel yourself getting too hungry, you need to be patient, even if it hurts. I'm actually in quite a lot of pain right now, believe it or not. But I'm going to stay in pain a little while, because I'd rather that than lose control. That's what I'm saying.
And when we lose control, what happens then?
Bad things happen. All right. I'll try and explain it, and then probably we won't be too far away. All right. So imagine you are a toddler, but you are a full-grown toddler, and you have the strength of maybe several adults. And let's imagine that you want some cake. You're not going to let anyone stop you getting that cake. You're going to take the cake, and if that cake happens to be someone's, I don't know, skull, well then so be it. That's what it's like when you lose control. You're like a toddler, but you're bigger than everyone around you, and so there's no one that can stop you. and you won't stop until you've done what you want to do. That's what it's like. And it doesn't matter if the thing you want normally is someone that you like, normally is someone that you care about. If you lose control, if you're that toddler in that moment, you don't care that maybe it's your mother, you just take it. Do you understand? If you lose control, you won't be yourself, and you will do things you would never normally do, and you will regret those things for the rest of your days.
At that point, a few things get a click in Sarah, and you know that when you see someone just realize something and they just lose all strength to stay and they just completely slump. What happens is just no you didn't. No you didn't. No you didn't. No. No.
I'll just keep driving at that point.
And that is where we're going to bring the episode to a close. With that beautiful expression, Peter.
Yeah.
For a week, that's what you're driving like. Awkward! Thank you. Sorry we ran over, guys. I didn't want to bring it to an end immediately upon that. It's there was a lot to pack in there. Because time-wise and timetables and everything are... But thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for joining us. And we will see you next week for episode 37. Bring your friends, bring your duvet, bring your Jaffa cakes. They are mandatory.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad.
And tomorrow, 5 p.m., release of Educating Carlos.
Yes.
Beautiful. Check it out.
And we've also got Blood on Thames.
Oh, and Blood
Part
on
2 has gone up,
Thames,
the podcast.
Podcast part
Yes.
2,
Yep, it
out
was-
there. So
It was missing, but that's been
check it
rectified
out.
now, so it's
Yeah.
up. So
Everything has
catch
been
that if
sorted.
you haven't missed it.
Yeah.
If you have missed it, not if you haven't missed it.
I mean, you can listen to it
Yeah.
again.
if you have not
Yeah.
missed it, don't miss it again.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Love you lots, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of Blood on the Thames. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and ShrekNet, the links to which are down below. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. on Twitch. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.